U20 Championship medalists.
Mabibi na mabwana, tuwahongere washindi wetu wa medali.
Really look forward to seeing the second place and first place athletes in this triple jump in the long jump tomorrow. He's so used to competing against each other and building on that friendship and that rivalry in the long jump final tomorrow.
That ability to do multiple jumps is coming back in, isn't it? We had the guy that won the US trials at high jump and long jump, and we've got increasingly more, I think, female long and triple jump combos going on. It's like oblivious cam, isn't it? We stay with them until they spot themselves on the giant screen, and then we hastily pan away, just while they're having a moment. He knows he's on. She knows she's on.
Waiting for their next medalists. I do like the ribbons on these medals. They're very pretty.
Yeah.
It's an African design on them.
I like the music. I like the ceremony music, and I like the drums that they bring onto the infield, especially for the distance events. It works.
You can see the result there of the men's hammer throw competition that took place yesterday. Get to see those medalists in a little bit. It was a victory for Jan Dolzalek. Jean-Baptiste Broussel giving a pretty honest account of his performance. He said he was disappointed. He came here for the gold. He was ranked #1, but just left with the bronze to match his European junior bronze. But he said he's going to take a holiday, maybe a safari. He's out there in Kenya. And then in October, he's going to target the French record. So fighting talk from Jean-Baptiste Broussel, and I'm sure he will look forward to those Olympic Games in Paris in just 3 years' time. Orestis Doussakis, you can see in the white jacket of Greece over there, was our second place athlete. He said he felt really good and ready for the gold medal, but after the second throw, he started feeling really tired. So he's proud of the silver medal, and he looks forward to building towards those next Olympics.
Bronze medalist representing France.
There is our bronze medalist, Jean-Baptiste Broussel, 11 metres, 77 metres, 70 for the French athlete. It's pretty tight in this competition. He was only 13 centimetres off the win. That's adding to that frustration, but he's mastered his way instead. Orestis Doussakis of Greece, 77-78 in his third round throw. 8 centimetres ahead of bronze medal position. Is really tight out there. Dolzalek of the Czech Republic, Jan Dolzalek, threw a national under-20 record of 77.83 in the final round. Catapult himself up into that gold medal position.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem of the Czech Republic.
Mabibi na mabwana, wimbo wa taifa la Jamhuri ya Czech.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge our World Under-20 Championship medalists.
Mabibi na mabwana, tuwaongere washindi wa medali mashindano ya riadha, wanariadha wasiozidi umri wa miaka 20.
Orestes Doussakis keen for a quick picture on his own. Don't want to go for the group shot yet. But look at that, just 13 centimetres separating that top three. Really hotly contested competition. We got a feel for the Frenchman, came in ranked #1 to this and the European Junior Championships. But just good enough for bronze in that championship arena. Excited to see if that spurs him on over the next 3 years.
Yeah, there is a generation taking shape for France, for Paris 2024. It's just whether they'll be ready in time, whether they'll have enough experience. And also, I mean, we're talking about our man in the 110-metre hurdles. You might remember, it's before you were born, obviously, Hannah, but the red-hot favourite for Beijing 2008 was Lu Jiang in the hurdles. He was on every poster, the side of buildings, every TV commercial, and he failed to make the first hurdle. It was an injury. And he was just traumatised, and they'd sold tickets around 4 sessions of hurdles. There is a lot of pressure that goes with it. Jessica Ennis was the poster girl for London 2012. It worked out well, but you've got to have a bit of temperament as well to do it, not just the talent, I think.
It's so hard, and it's obviously people, they will love to get excited, they love to tout these talents before they've potentially had the chance even to compete, and it does put on a lot of pressure, and also I think sometimes it disrespects sort of the drama of sport.
Yeah,
I think you kind of assume someone's going to win, and it often doesn't come off that way.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the men's long
and
jump.
then when they do win, sometimes it looks too easy and they don't get the credit they deserve. Jessica Ennis Hill, for me, she made it look too easy.
Yeah.
How much effort to deliver at your home Olympic Games for that woman. It was amazing.
Yeah, a lifetime spent preparing for the journey.
Oh, this is a competition where the lead changed so much. Really, really tight. Again, at the top. Well, ultimately, Erwan Konaté of France, he did stretch out to that 8:12 for the World Under-20 lead for 2021. But he did that in the 4th round. Before that, the lead was
The
chopping and
medalists will
changing.
be acknowledged by
Washindi watatambuliwa naye
Helio Gesta de Mello, World Athletics Council member.
The World Athletics Council member acknowledging our medalists from the men's long jump.
Well, he's Brazilian-based as a council member, so he was the reason that the World Half went to Rio in 2000.
Vivian Carr.
Here it was.
Bronze medal there for Kavian Kerr of Jamaica, a personal best of 7:90.
Silver medalist representing Colombia.
And the silver medal went to Juan Andres Berrio of Colombia. It's where the next World Junior Championships will take place. He'll be too old by then, but I wonder if his national under-20 record will last for longer than that. 7:97, so close to that 8-metre mark. It was a victory for the Frenchman.
dhahabu kutoka nchini Ufaransa.
Erwan Konaté.
Konaté said winning this at just 18 years old was fantastic for him. He felt very proud to win this medal for France with that World Under-20 lead and a personal best of 8:12. Fantastic series, increasing with every jump. He just seems to be getting better and
The
better.
anthem of France.
Mabibi na mabwana, wimbo wa taifa la Ufaransa.
special
please
moment for those men.
our World Under-20 Championship
This
medalists.
event took place at the same time as Sasha Sawyer ran his World Under-20 record in that 110 metre hurdle heats yesterday. Winning his semi-final, in fact not even his heat, semi-final. Sure, that was inspiration to these guys. But perhaps it'll be his turn to pick up a gold medal later this afternoon.
It's a terrific session coming up. I mean, as you'd expect for the penultimate day of a championship, we're through to some finals that athletes have come through 1 or 2 rounds of qualification to build towards, and there's a lot of expectation around some of the contests, some of the battles against the clock as well.
Result there from Steeplechase yesterday. Javelin Jepkoech really stretching away in the latter stages of the race. 9:27 to beat the Olympian Wanda Magan of Ethiopia. Faith Cheretich making it a 1-3 for Kenya, very popular in the stadium as you'd expect.
President Kenyatta, when he was welcoming home the Tokyo medalists on Monday with Seb Coe, said, "We must get that men's steeplechase title back." It hurts at a very high level when Kenya don't win steeplechases.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Our next medalists
for the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase.
Mabibi na mabwana, sherehe za kuwatuza washindi wa medali katika mbio za mita 3 kuruka maji na viunzi kina dada.
Please welcome the medalists.
Presentation team out again. They're pleased to pick up the Kenyan flag. Kenya doing so well hosting this championship, both from an organisation point of view, but they're backing it up with the results as well. Top of the medal table at the moment. Faith Cheretich with the bronze medal. She said their plan was to go first and second, but the Ethiopian was too strong. She had a nagging leg injury. So she's
Lieutenant General Retired Jackson Tue, Chairman, Local Organizing Committee, Nairobi 2021.
Of the local organising committee, I'm sure they've been working so hard over the past few months and years to get this competition ready.
Bronze medalist representing Kenya.
Shaba kutoka Kenya, Faith Cheretich.
Faith Cheretich there, bronze medal, 9:44.76. Zephyr Wanda Magan, 9:16 her personal best. She competed at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Said she was feeling tired from that and just pleased with the silver medal here. She just couldn't live with the pace. Javelin Jepkoech, I think she sensed a bit of weakness, really pushed on.
Gold medalist and World Under-20 champion representing Kenya.
Dhahabu kutoka nchini Kenya, Malkia Javelin Jepkoech.
Gold medalist and World Junior Champion for 2021, Javelin Jepkoech. In Nairobi, home games and a PB to boot. 9 minutes, 27 seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem of Kenya.
Mabibi na mabwana, wimbo wa taifa la Kenya.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge our World Under-20 Championship medalists.
Mabibi na mabwana, tuwashangilie washindi wetu wa medali
Kenyan
mashindano ya
team.
riadha.
Coach, the quote from Jack
Wanariadha wa
Koech
miaka 20.
was that she finished 4th at the Olympic trials to try and make that Olympic team for Kenya. She failed there, but this was a good reward after missing out.
Well, these are the current standings in the medal table. It's still the home nation leading, whether you count golds or overall medals. But would you have expected Finland to be that high, or one or two of the other nations that are on that first page? It's a fair spread. We'll scroll over the pages to show how many nations have already got at least one bronze medal. But at the moment, Kenya are hosting the parties, and they're still the star turn as well. Namibia with one silver. There's still a third page to come. It will be a real avalanche of medals coming up over the next day and a half, because we're almost through to wall-to-wall finals, so those positions will change. But some of the usual suspects on there, but one or two new names getting medals at this level, sometimes for the first time.
On it, Jeff, so many different countries.
Yeah.
I mean, more than 25. I didn't count properly how many duplications there were there for this. So the athletes adjusting their blocks. This is the men's 400 metre hurdles semi-final. Just anyone new to athletics, you adjust those foot uprights to suit your height, what's comfortable to you, so you can get off really fast. But it's very complicated. It's how far back you have it from the start line, that's where you put your hands, but also the height at which you'd set those foot, what would you call them, foot pedals, pads.
Yeah.
They've got to be at the right angle as well.
Our director Mark Fulton was a bit of a star at this. My observation on the blocks is that you have to be familiar with them, because you don't get long to set them up. You have to know what that particular block configuration looks like. So experience helps.
Especially in this event, you want to make sure you've got your stride pattern correctly into the first hurdle. It's really important to set off in the right way. And the start's important in the 400 flat as well, but perhaps more so in a technical event like this, so they've got to get it right.
In fairness, my overall test of athleticism is, can you do a 400 hurdles? And if you can't, what are you lacking? Strength, speed, agility, height, power, weight, whatever it is, that's what you're lacking in your sport. Could Cristiano Ronaldo do one? Yep. Andy Murray? Yep. NBA Lakers? Yep. It's a fair test, the 400 hurdles.
Snooker
player would lack the agility, I think.
Okay, just the agility.
Well, no, lean over them, but not get over them.
Like cricket. I think cricket can manage it, couldn't they?
They could now. They could now.
Yes,
I think
true.
Historically they weren't.
It is. I have a lot of respect for this event. I think it's yeah, like you say, the strength, the endurance, the agility. Concentrate on your stride pattern as well. And
Yeah. That seems to be where the real progressions are being made. There was something about Barholm's stride pattern in Tokyo that was unique, that he sustained, and it was the difference between him and silver. It's maybe where we see most development.
So enough about other people's stride patterns. We can focus on their stride pattern. Ezekiel Nathaniel, he really hit the hurdle with 100 metres to go in his heat, but managed to hold his composure to make this semi-final. Daniel Bibek around there. Bit of a Johan Blake celebration. Well, kind of introduction there for him. Lasenko of Latvia, 52.30 this season. Berke Akam From Turkey, he's one of the fastest in the field already. He won his heat, he's won the European Junior Championships again. Nader Abello from Colombia, 52.80, second in his heat yesterday. Devonteen Archer describes himself as bubbly. He is the joint under-20 Jamaican champion with Roshan Clark. We couldn't separate those two on that occasion. Competing for Lebanon, Ibrahim, 52.27. Completing the lineup in lane 1. Hungarian with a personal best of 52.79. So the first two in this heat will automatically qualify to tomorrow's final.
Set.
I'll keep your eye on lane 5. The Egyptian's got the fastest time coming into this field, and he does rise first at that all-important first hurdle. He's got a jump on the field already up on the 2 outside lanes outside of him, and gaining on Nathaniel of Nigeria as well. But keep your eye on Devonteen Archer. Devonteen Archer will be keen to qualify automatically for this final. Nathaniel on the outside looking good, but it is Berke Akam of Turkey on the inside, coming under some pressure from Archer. Archer takes that hurdle first. Turkish athlete almost seems to respond, to wake up, and they approach these final 2 hurdles. Devonteen Archer looking good. Berke Akam potentially just easing down. Nope, he wants a better lane in the final. Powers away in the last 30 metres. Turkey first, Jamaica second, Nathaniel, Nigeria third there. He will have to wait to see if he can advance on that time of 51.37.
Well, Ibrahim of Lebanon was the next athlete across the line, and he's given himself a chance of making the final, at least in theory, until we see the next heat. And I don't think I've ever seen a Lebanon athlete advance this far through a championship, so he's somewhat of a pioneer. Hats off to him. And a national under-20 record, so that's a pretty classy way to qualify for a final.
Certainly keep an eye out for that. Yes, it would be personal best as well. Personal best from last season for the European Junior Champion. Devonteen Archer is getting hassled by the paparazzi. So he was, I said it, joint champion with Roshan Clark. Couldn't separate them. On that occasion, Devonteen Archer really hit one of the hurdles and he nearly went down, but it was a lot smoother today for the Jamaican there. You can see him in the yellow strip in lane 3. He had the Turkish athlete outside him to aim for. But Akam there just, I think, running slightly within himself that first 300 metres. And then really lifting his speed, lifting his effort into that last 100 metres. Be keen to get inside lane jaws, a lot easier than being on a tighter inside lane or out on the outside without your competitors to look at. Devonteen Archer looking good.
Well, lane 2 tends not to, or lane 1 tends not to get used once we get to finals, so the seeded lanes will be 3, 4, 5 and 6, or shunt that all out by 1. It should form an arrowhead as you look at it from the seeded runners.
So Akam and Archer safely through. Nice. I like the look of that time. And Ezekiel Nathaniel, I felt really had my heart in my mouth watching him in the heats. He nearly went out of his lane, really thought he was going to fall over, but rewarded with a PB today and a nervous wait to see if he can be a non-automatic qualifier into tomorrow's final.
Yeah, you can't do more than what Mark Anthony Ibrahim did there. A national record and 4th place in a world semi-final. 51.9, it's going to be very marginal, I think. It will be somewhere around that for the non-automatic places for the final, but he's given it a good go. Wonder how big that team is.
I think I had it written on my earlier notes, not very big.
No, him and his dad, is it?
We have got some small teams here, but it's great to see so many different countries represented. If only we had Mark Butler here in person. He's given us some wonderful stats, but Mark would know that off the top of his head.
Without Mark Butler, we would be mute. There's some people would be grateful for that, I guess, but... This track has been fast consistently throughout the championship. Tracks tend to be built for sprinters. They're often a Mondo surface, which is an official World Athletics supplier. They're rock hard, because the sprinters like that, and sometimes the distance runners find that difficult when they've gone through 2 or 3 rounds, or they've worn thin spikes for 10,000 metres. But everything goes back to the Bolt era, I think. Two athletes in the Lebanese team, so it could be him and his dad, couldn't it? Because one will be an official and one will be an athlete.
We talk about the experience these athletes will be getting at these championships. You know, just great for those two to travel all the way out here on their own. Just that small team, but getting to meet so many different nations. Some really big teams out there. I mean, the Jamaicans have brought a large contingent. So the Poles, the Finnish.
He knows where the camera is, doesn't he?
Leave me alone. Wow, what about Patrick Dobek when you think about Polish 400 metre hurdlers?
Yeah, a transfer of talent to become European indoor 800 metre champion. That's relatively unusual these days, isn't it?
It is, but everyone would love to see what Carsten Wilhelm could do for an 800. Wouldn't that be entertaining?
I think he'd be good to 6. I don't know about 8 yet. I'll have a look at his Decathlon 1500 record to give a clue on that.
This is the third heat. Second semi-final. Novoseltsev, an authorised neutral athlete, is in lane 5. He's the fastest qualified in heat 2. Fastest runner this week in this heat. Indian athlete there, Rohan Campbell, done really well to make this semi-final. Tough lane draw there in lane 1. So on the outside we have got Jorge Garcia, Spain, 5th at the European Junior Championships, just pacing around. 51.3, could take that or a little bit faster maybe to make the final. Dominik Skorjanks, Croatia, 51.25. Chased down the Spaniard outside him, and Peter Kickholm ran a PB yesterday to come second in his heat, 51.31, so the inform athlete. Denis Novoseltsev, authorised neutral athlete, he won his heat yesterday at second heat. Matic Ian Gucek, Slovenia, just 17 years old. He was second in the first heat. Balkan under-20 champion. Jakub Subura Duma, 51.32 for the Polish athlete this season. Cesar Para, Venezuela. Save some of that bounce for your hurdles. He looked like he really enjoyed himself yesterday. He's excited to be back here for another race. Rohan Campbell from India, the man in lane 1, 52.49 to his name. Can he go faster today? The second semi-final of the men's 400 metre hurdles. First 2 automatically into tomorrow's
On
final.
your marks. Set.
You have to keep your eye on lane 5. Novoseltsev in the yellow vest. He's the man to beat in this in this race, but they all rise pretty evenly over the first hurdle. Fast start from the Spaniard on the outside. He's running blind, he's got no one to gauge his pace against. Has he gone off too fast? Will he pay for this in the home straight? But he's still got the lead at the moment. Garcia of Spain on the outside. Pretty even from the rest of the runners. Kit Home coming fresh off that PB in the heats yesterday. Can he turn on the pace in this last 150 metres? Novoseltsev starting to build momentum. 2 barriers left to go. It is still Garcia of Spain in the outside, but suddenly he will see the men on the inside. Garcia hits his hurdle. He's gone. Novoseltsev pulling away over the last hurdle, and he takes a 17-year-old Gucek of Slovenia with him. Novoseltsev from Gucek, Kit Home. Just those top 2 automatically into tomorrow's final. Peter Kit Home of Kenya will have to wait and see if that is enough.
Well, if we get a replay that goes far enough back, Garcia there he's finished, but it was almost like a refusal. He ran very, very strongly over the first 200, and I think he was filling up with lactic acid, and hurdle 8, I think it was, on the crown of the bend, he just didn't take off. He just ran into it and pushed it over. He may find there's a view taken on that, but he certainly attacked it, but hit the buffers completely.
Maybe he was on his wrong leg. Maybe he tried to change his stride pattern down, and it didn't quite pay off for him. We'll have another look here. Smooth to the first hurdle, but you can see Jorge Garcia out there on the outside. All that adrenaline, all that passion, all that effort just pouring out over that first 300, and it might have cost him as he comes into the 8th hurdle. Kit Home of Kenya looking good.
Watch the Spaniard on the left-hand side.
Yes, you're right, Jeff. It wasn't even clipping it. He didn't trip. He just failed to clear that hurdle, but Novoseltsev didn't put a foot wrong. Novoseltsev staking his claim for a medal in tomorrow's final with his victory there. Gucek is just 17 years old, the Slovenian. And they're in lane 4. It's so well to hold on to the authorised neutral athlete and come through for 2nd place. Kit Home there, you can see him struggling into that ultimate hurdle. If he can get that right, there's got to be some more time in there. Let's hope he gets into the final and he can have another go. Just a cool, calm fist pump there from Novoseltsev, giving nothing away. 50.31, personal best for the authorised neutral athlete. Matic Gucek, personal best for him as well, 50.56. Peter Kit Home is 2nd personal best of the championships. He already ran a personal best in the heats, 50.90 for the Kenyan athlete, and he will wait and see if that's enough to advance on time.
So there's a revised result from the first heat coming up, and it's a disqualification, unfortunately. It's the Iranian athlete. Let's look at him. See, it's a foot on the line. It is very clearly on the line. Will be subject to appeal, but that looks like he almost had his right leg on the line as well as his left. Hawkeye is an operation, the same technology that you have for cricket and for tennis, service calls and baseline calls. That's the technology that's used to see lane infringement, so it's to the millimetre. It gives some clarity to the athletes, but obviously he'll be very disappointed in that.
There is that result there, and that gives you an indication there about Peter Kit Home. He was faster than Ezekiel Nathaniel, so I think he will go into the first of the non-automatic qualifying spots at the moment. We've still got one more heat to go. But the Kenyan at the moment could look good. Nigerian there as well. He'll be the man that some of these athletes will be hoping to beat. They'll be hoping to get in the top 2 automatically and not have to worry about that. That was Roshan Clark, your joint under-20 Jamaican champion. Oscar Ilund there, silver medalist from the junior championships. There's a Swedish athlete, Kolubovic of Ukraine here as well. He's got lane 2. Second Kenyan athlete, Alosius Kipnagetic, making sure those shoes are tied. We saw a lot of wayward shoelaces in the 3000s and the 5000s yesterday, which made me very nervous.
I'll just throw it out there for our producer, Mark, who used to compete against him. Did Ed Moses not break the world record and win the Olympics with a flapping shoelace that he'd just forgotten to tie? Yeah, he did, apparently. It's a thing for 400 hurdlers.
Kipnigetic double tying his laces there. Maybe that was the Kenyan team talk yesterday. Guys, tie your shoelaces. Control the controllables.
Yeah.
Just 16 years old, Kipnigetic. He's just seen his teammate run a PB, Peter Kitholm. He's already run a PB as well, a 51.41 in the heats for Aloysius Kipnigetic.
When we go down to foot level, you can see just how hard that track surface is. It's designed for speed, absolutely, but it's almost like a concrete consistency.
It does produce fast times. The Kenyan Championships always have very good times considering the altitude as well.
We're going to show you Jorge Garcia in the previous round. You'll remember, I think it was actually hurdle 9, where he just filled up with lactic acid, just ran into the hurdle, so no attempt to get over it. I think his legs had just gone, so he is disqualified for that as an offence. I don't think he will appeal it because it's academic, and it's upsetting for him because he did really attack it, gave it a really good go down the back straight, but disqualification is the final outcome.
That is one of the rules, isn't it? You can't touch a hurdle with your hands.
No, otherwise you'd just run down 10 flights pushing them over, wouldn't you, sprinting? So you've got to negotiate the hurdles, and negotiating them isn't running round them.
No, we saw a disqualification in the women's event for a trail leg not fully hooking, I think
coming
is
around the side.
That's sort of the slang for it. It's got a much longer rule in the World Athletics rulebook, but let's hope none of these men make that mistake. Christian Venter in South Africa, he's got lane 8. Can he judge his race well there with no one to look at? Moghadami of Iran, 52.68. Lane 5, Gabriel Alves dos Santos, similar to Alison dos Santos, bronze medal at the Olympic Games. The 16-year-old Kenyan Kipnigetic, 51.41, personal best to qualify automatically for this semi-final. Oscar Elund, second at the European Junior Championships. Swedish athletes have got their own Instagram page for their whole team. They've done some lovely pictures of him and the rest of his teammate on there. Roshan Clark, 17-year-old, joint Jamaican champion from Camperdown High School. He's in lane 3. Lane 2, representing Ukraine, Holubovic, 52.98. Completing the lineup in lane 1, Stepan Sik, Croatia, 51.13. At the moment, you need to be right around that 51-second mark if you want a non-automatic qualifying mark. Or just cross the line in the first 2, concentrate on preparing for the final. This final takes place tomorrow, 3:15.
Stand up, please. Stand up.
Have to wait.
Did the Jamaican raise his hand to suggest there was an issue there? I think, yeah, he's going back to adjust his blocks. That's okay, as long as you don't do that on a regular basis. He wasn't happy with something, so I think he's allowed to do that. But I think they actually formally will show a green card for no warning. The marksman will ask if he's happy, and if he is, it'll be green.
You want your blocks to be absolutely right. Those do measure the reaction times for any false starts as well. Yeah. Very mature there, 17-year-old Roshan Clark. He wasn't happy with the positioning of his equipment. I think that takes a certain level of maturity to say, nope, hang on a minute, I need another moment here. So that's good to see.
Unless, of course, he's from the School of Gamesmanship, unsettling his opposition. That would never happen.
First time under 51 seconds in the first round for Roshan Clark.
set.
Clark in 3 for Jamaica, Elland in 4. They won their heats. Can they repeat that in the semi-final? They can't both win. Fast start on the outside for Mogdami of Iran. He's going to rise first. So is it Elland? Elland is really flying down the back straight. Up on the Kenyan, past the Brazilian. And has he taken the Jamaican with him? Rashawn Clark trying to hold on to Oscar Elland. And Mogdami in lane 7. Can he finish off with a fast last 100? But it looks like Oscar Elland and Rashawn Clark. Rashawn Clark using that inside line. He's got the advantage with the shorter lane there. One flight to go. Oscar Elland lifts his pace. Oscar Elland just ahead on the final barrier. Rashawn Clark happy to ease down. Don't ease down too much. Oh.
He's not from the school of gamesmanship. He's from the school of...
Oh, that's just heartbreaking.
What is he thinking of? You can't ease down that much in a 400 hurdles. That is just insulting to the opposition, really. Dear me, that he may not be in the final there because the winning time is 50.7. Oh my word.
Oh, I am gutted for Rashawn Clark. That was such a good run. We've seen it a few times, not as many as you might expect with this age group, but a few times just some unforced errors.
Yeah, that was basic stuff. Run through the line. You know, you don't have to run it through at full speed. He did have a look round, but you can't switch off the afterburners that much. It is an insult to those that are coming at you from behind. We'll watch it again. He won't want to watch that again ever because that was 400 meter hurdles 1.0 lesson 1. Run through the line.
And it's a great race for the whole field until that point. So a fast start on the outside there. Mogdami focusing on Oscar Elland versus Rashawn Clark. That was the race we were treated to. Oscar Elland there, perfectly technical execution here of his stride pattern and his hurdles. But Rashawn Clark just pushing well around that top bend. He ran the race so well to this point, he thought, I don't want to give Elland too much of a head start, and then taking these last 2 hurdles together. Elland.
Watch him look round off this hurdle. He looks round, look, thinks, got this. Look, leaning back. You can't go to a jog. Here they come, either side. Oh, may have ended up 4th there, you know.
I think he didn't look to his inside. I wonder if he'd looked to his inside and seen Sick there, finishing fast. Oh, look what that means to Oscar Elland. So excited to make a World Junior final. Oscar Elland there, he's executed a great race.
And I can tell you, he finished 4th. Yeah, that's a shocker. He gave away 1200ths of a second and he gave away 200ths to Kimon Gaitic, and I don't think he goes through as the fastest non-automatic. So that was... Any kids watching that, don't do that.
Any adults watching this, don't do that. Anyone
watching that, don't do that.
So, I think Stefan Jan Sick would have thought all his Christmases came at once there.
Yeah.
He will be going into tomorrow's final for the men's 400 metre hurdles. Nervous wait for a few of those athletes at the non-automatic qualifying spots. They might have seen it in the stadium already. We'll try and bring a graphic up to let you know who did qualify non-automatically for that final. But in the quorum here, you can see we've got 2 semi-finals of the men's 800. This is our last non-final, if you like. And it is, not if you like. You've got to like it. This is our last non-final of this championships. These men will be vying for a place in the final tomorrow at 3:30 for that race.
Seb Coe said a couple of weeks ago when he was talking about his Olympic triumph, which came round again, that he's done many things. He's given a live speech at the opening ceremony of our home Olympic Games. He's been a member of Parliament. The most tense times in his life were in the call room ahead of major 800 metre finals. There's nowhere to hide, there's nowhere to look, you're confined. You sometimes have to go up in a lift with these same 8 guys. and you know, somebody's got a gold medal in their pocket and somebody hasn't, and there's just the intensity and the nervous energy around that. However you try to bluff it, you can't really. It's showtime.
And some of the call room times are just so long. As
Yeah.
you get towards the senior championships, you're talking 45 minutes before you race.
Yeah.
You've got to leave anyone you know and like behind,
Yeah.
unless you're lucky enough to be friends with or teammates with one of your competitors, but you're just in there on your own for a very long time before you go on the track. You can certainly say races are won and lost in the call room.
They're
before
certainly
they even
lost.
get to the
Yeah,
track.
yeah. So the 400-metre hurdles final for men will not include the competitor that we saw jog across the line, Roshawn Clark. I think his team manager and his coach will be having a little word. But that's a great final. That is a great final tomorrow. And pick a winner. The seeded lanes, well, that's not in lane order, that's in qualifying speed order. So the top 4 names will get the middle 4 lanes.
So 51.95 was the time for the Jamaican athlete, who wasn't even that far off. Well, no, he was, apologies. Ezekiel Nathaniel was comfortably in that final non-automatic qualifying spot with a personal best. Lots of personal bests in there, and of course that national under-20 record for Akam, 49.73 to lead the qualifiers. So, is this more nerve-wracking than the call room? You're out there waiting for the gun.
I think once you've strode out on the track, you can do something about your breathing and see a few familiar faces, but I don't think they're even allowed their personal headphones and things like that in final call, so it's just you and your thoughts and trying to stay in your own little world.
Yeah, they will be thankful of the chance to stretch their legs if they've been sitting down in that call room. For many of these athletes, you'd think they would have experienced a call room at some level before getting here, but they might not have. This might have been their first experience of a call room and how they've coped with that.
So it's the first 3 plus the next 2 fastest. Some of these athletes will only have done their national championship, so the jump up is like going from the village hall to Carnegie Hall. You know, this is serious stuff. This is an Olympics for their age group.
It's been a long season for some of these athletes. Some of these nations have their national championships in the spring, in the new year. Especially the South Africans, they would have qualified for this back in February, March, April, and then to peak again in August. But they're doing very well, actually, particularly the South Africans. They're really managing it well. But it's a long old season for a lot of these athletes.
Well, I think what happens is, certainly over this sort of distance, the South Africans don't do indoors, do they? They do a truncated outdoor season in the Southern Hemisphere and then take in the Northern Hemisphere season. So it's not quite that bad, but you're right. Could be 6 months of racing.
Focusing there on the Kenyan athlete. Such strong position in 800 metres. David Rudisha won this title in 2006. Went on to win those Olympic Games in 2012, but this will be something that the Kenyans will know this, they'll know the history of their event, and they'll be keen to emulate that. So semi-final 1 of 2, the men's 800 metres, final at 3:30 tomorrow. Will Ansel Mini of France feature in that, 1:48 this season, he's got lane 8. El Hafez Mahadi of Qatar, 1:48.41 this season, thumbs up from the Qatari athlete in lane 7. Daniel Wode, Ethiopia, 1:46.85. Puts him right up there in the season's rankings. Mohamed El Gounad of Algeria, 1:45.47. He won heat 4. He's one of the fastest in the field. Emmanuel Wanyoni, second at the Kenyan Championships here at this track. He won his heat, 1:45.81. Leonardo Santos of Brazil, lane 3, focused down that track, ready for this race. Abdullah Al Yahari, He ran a PB to qualify by time of 1:49.65. Handel Robin from St Vincent and the Grenadines. He is the only representative from his nation. He ran a national under-20 record yesterday. Maybe he could chip away at that this afternoon.
Yeah. That's the hardness of the tracks. You see the small spikes don't even embed completely.
The way fast time, you can see they're on the start line with a green line through the middle. That is the 800-metre start line. They run this first bend in lanes and then they will break to the inside. Often a bit of a race. Who can get there first? Who wants to control this race? And Al Yahari, he's the man to control. Oh no, Santos fancies a go. A lot can change in this 100 metres. And Wanyone, inspired by the Kenyan race walker with the same name earlier, I'm sure. 25.53 through the first 200 metres.
Well, Kenya owns 800-metre running at the moment, 1 and 2 at the Olympic Games of 2021, and the previous 2 titles won by David Rudisha. So they take this as seriously as the 3,000-metre steeplechase on the men's side.
Absolutely, and they are defending champions. Lukita won this in 2018. Emmanuel Wanyoni will be keen to do that. This edition, 52.02. It's not hanging around, but it's not crazy fast. Guned and Santos tracking him. Has the Kenyan just judged his pace right? Keep your eye on the Frenchman there. And Salmini, looks like he's gathering himself for an attack, but it's Santos on the outside. But they're still staying in single file. Magnoni's stretching them out. Magnoni hits 600 to go, 1:18.90, and suddenly he only has the Algerian for company. He must have put an effort down that back straight to shake off the attacks on the other athletes. But it is Kenya from Algeria, just the first 3 through to tomorrow's final. Kenya and Algeria looking good. Wanyoni and Al Guned stretching away on the home straight. They could look around, but they might have been watching the hurdles earlier. I think I must run all the way to this line. Just about, and a strong finish there from Daniel Walde, Ethiopia, coming through for that 3rd automatic spot into tomorrow's final.
Well, that graphic that you saw in the bottom left really told the tale of the race. It's a great gizmo that shows the gap between first and second, and it was pretty much all over with 200 to go. And that was because Wanyoni had run it like an extended sprint. He'd only gone through in 52, which isn't, as you said, a leg buckling time to go through, but then he maintained it, sustained it all the way down the 3rd 200, and that pretty much saw everybody off.
That's what we weren't seeing in the women's rounds. All of them are struggling in that 3rd 200. They couldn't maintain their speed, or they're choosing not to with their tactics. But you're right, Wanyoni there kept the pressure on the back straight, so secured that victory. How much of an effect do you think altitude will be having on the 800-metre runners?
800, I think, is right on the borderline. If you remember back to the Mexico City Games of 1968, there were world records in long jump, 100, 200, 400. 800 was the point where the world record didn't go, but it was still pretty quick.
So that national under-20 record there for Handel Robin, his 2nd of the championships. St Vincent and Grenadines athlete, 2 national records from 2 rounds. Wanyoni excited as he looks towards that final. So say on the altitude, Jeff, for me, I had a lot of training at altitude. Not really my funnest months of the year. No. Wanyoni here, we'll have a quick look at him before I talk about myself, because Wanyoni is the athlete out there looking so strong in this last 150. And to run that race, gun to tape, is really impressive, and to me shows he's got more in the tank, but judging his efforts so well. He'll be familiar with this stadium, and he's executed that perfectly.
Well, his eyes were never other than locked on the finish line there, were they? When the Algerian came alongside him, he didn't even give him a sideways look. He was only intent on running his own race through. Probably the best way to do it, the safest way to do it through the rounds. He can, of course, see the giant screen, as you can see from his eye line there.
Paul Anselmini of France stuck to his task really well, put himself in that top 3, but couldn't quite fight off the challenge. Ethiopian Daniel Walde coming through for the automatic spot in 3rd, nearly catching El Guaned, who was potentially distracted in the call room and didn't see the dramatic.
What happened? He didn't learn his lesson from the Jamaican hurdles.
That is the result there of the first semi-final. Manuel Wanyoni put his feet up and look forward to tomorrow's final. Mohamed Al Guaned will join him Daniel Walde. Wait, Paul Anselmini, PB, 147.81 for the Frenchman. And Handel Robin, what a fantastic second national under-20 record for the athlete.
I would suggest that 52 is probably as quick as you want to go through halfway in. I think anything 50 and a half, 51 low, you are going to get a serious lactic and altitude effect on the second lap.
And I do wonder with the women, the 800 takes them longer. I think the altitude will kick at you. You're talking about another 15, 20 seconds that they're out there, so that effect will compound. But I was going to say with the altitude, for me, even warming up for something at altitude can be really foreign. And if the first times you experience that, you think, what is going on? I'm having an awful day.
Yeah.
You know, how has this happened? I've woken up at the World Junior Championships and I feel the worst I've ever felt. So I think some of it will be mental. It won't be for the likes of Noah Kibet, 17-year-old from Kenya. He'll be very used to training and competing at this height. But for athletes that haven't really experienced altitude much, it can really mess with your psyche and your preparations. Abdullah Hassan there from Canada. He was second in his heat from Toronto, Canada, all the way to Nairobi.
So the temperature has reached around about 22 degrees. That's as high as it's going to get all day. I think that's pretty much perfect for these guys. They're not going to pull a hamstring through muscle tension, but they're equally not going to get fried out there. It's a good racing temperature, a good competing temperature.
I think you're right, Jeff. I think it's perfect, especially with the shade. It doesn't look, I don't know if it's shade or cloud, but they're not in the full sunlight, which is makes it a little bit nicer as well.
Oh, he's shivering. Not ideal for everybody.
See the graphics on the screen. Nigel Amos, of course. I think he won this 2010.
Yeah.
Something like that. So he followed on for Rhodesia 2006, Amos 2010. Both of those contending the Olympic Championships over the years. Mazain there, Yanis Mazain of France, ran a PB yesterday, that 147.28 to get to the semi-final. Siobhan Hall, Jamaica, 148.58. Inside of him is Kapsir Lewalski. He won his heat, second at the European Junior Championships. And from a nation that is so good at 800 and 1500 metres, as is Kenya. Noah Kibet, a 17-year-old under-20 Kenyan national champion, won his heat. Jakub Davidek, Czech Republic, he was second to Noah Kibet yesterday. And Abdullah Hassan from Kenya, also second in his heat. That gets him lane 3 in this semi-final. Janitov of Algeria, 148.19, personal best in the rounds. Completing our lineup, Choba, South Africa, 148.8. Second semi-final. First 3 will get through automatically into tomorrow's final. And they're off. It was Kenya, Poland in the Olympic final. If this qualification goes to plan, we could have similar odds on for the final, but it is a fast start from the Jamaican. Siobhan Hall there out on the outside, using all his speed to get to the front. He will now glide across. Might look inside. Does he definitely want to lead? Yes, he does. Hall, but so does Hassan. Abdullah Hassan wants it, but Mazain of France, just gliding around the outside, 24.75. It's faster than the first heat. The Frenchman just took his time getting to the front, trying to run very evenly in this first lap. That's what I think is so important. You can see Jamaica right up there on France, and it's Kenya on the outside, and it's all even as we come into the bell.
Yeah, the tracking data confirming that you could throw a blanket over this whole field, but they are about 3/4 of a second quicker than the first heat, so they're giving themselves a chance of getting more athletes through to the final.
Yeah, keep your eye on Kapsir Lewalski, the pole at the back. Has he got this right? Is he going to move through down the back straight? But we've got Kibet and Hall at the front, running 2 abreast. So going to be a wide run round for anyone that wants to move up. Lewalski's having a go. You can see the speed graphic there. 26.2 for Hall. His peak speed was 34. We've lost a runner. Oh, we've got Kenya and Jamaica battling it out at the front. Keep your eye on Hassan from Canada as well, running really well. Just top 3 will make it automatically into tomorrow's final. And it is Kibet of Kenya driving for the line. He's got Czech Republic for company and Canada, but it is a win for Kenya. Noah Kibet taking that victory from Jakub Davidic. Sneaking on the inside there. Hassan holding his form well in that last 200, positioned himself really well to maximise everything he had left. 146.90 for third place. It's pretty good running.
I'm not sure about the approach of some of these athletes to those last 20 metres. There's too many of them looking to switch off the engine. It was the French athlete Méziane who stumbled. We may catch that on a replay. He's obviously distressed over what happened. I confess I didn't spot it. I was watching the timing graphic in the bottom left, which is another nice piece of technology.
National Under-20 record for Jakub Davidic. 146.59. That's a huge PB. He's coming in 147.08. So what a way to deliver on the world stage. That automatic qualification into tomorrow's final. Choba there, just catching his breath.
So when we watch the replay, and this is the moment I think the Frenchman may have gone down. Did he tread on the curb? Oh no, he's pulled something. He's pulled something and he peeled off. Okay, so nobody to blame, just an injury that must have flared. When you watch the finish, when you've run 780 metres, what's the point of easing right back? Are you trying to pretend to the opposition it was no great effort, I was just cruising? Because it's not convincing. Just run it through. Watch how that happens here. There's one or two just start to ease right back. I suspect it's more lactic and trying to look nonchalant, but...
It's Abdullah Hassan there. Content to let the top 2 go. Oh, you can see he's smiling.
Yeah.
But we've seen some really shocking scenes across all the age groups when the screen's behind.
Yes.
Go, oh, I'm using the screen, I'm fine, I've got a gap, and they get pipped on the line.
And it's a foreshortening effect. Oh, he's going to finish it off. Fair play.
Good on him then.
So he came to finish and he has.
Tough day out for the French athlete. He'll learn from this experience, being so far away from home, and he's getting to race twice as well.
What, when you were a championship, what was the most alien thing? It was always food for me.
Yeah, I think, really, really strange food. You have to get the buses, everything takes so long. You kind of think, oh, I'll just pop down to the track and go and do a bit of training, and everything's just arduous and exciting as well. I think it's sort of measuring that balance of soaking up a new atmosphere and a new environment while trying to conserve some energy for your race as well. And I've seen so many pictures on Instagram of these guys relaxing by the pool.
Here?
Yes, yeah. They've been having, it looks almost like a pool party, really enjoying it. I think this is de Klerk, the silver medalist from discus yesterday, or the hammer. Apologies to her if I'm giving her a new event.
The other thing that can be tricky is sleep, because you're easing right down, so you're not as exhausted as you would be in a normal training cycle, and you're in a strange environment, strange noise, sharing rooms. It can be tricky, can't it?
So what do you do with all that extra energy? You're right, you've got the physical energy because you're not so sapped from your training, but you don't want to be running around, getting tired, getting emotionally wound up. And we saw a lot of the athletes watching their teammates, and again, that's something to balance early in the competition. You want to get a feel for the stadium, but the emotions of watching your friends compete can often be draining too.
So we're going to have a little look back at the morning session, because we had some gold medal finals on the AM session on day 4. Let's take a little look back at the highlights of this morning's session. We began with the men's 10,000 metre walk. We had early breakaways, but in the end it was the fastest man in the field, Amit, who came in, and he had Hairiston Wanyonyi on his shoulder. There was one notable disqualification. It looked like Amit had the measure of the Kenyan at one point, but he went to the drink station frequently throughout the race as part of a tactic, and Wanyonyi was hanging on by his bootstraps for a long portion of the race. When he finally did get in front, he absolutely milked that advantage for all it was worth, and he knew that history was beckoning, not only on home soil but a first ever Kenyan gold medal in the race walks for Henrison Wanyonyi. Party on. The women's walk, which followed about 45 minutes later, had the biggest field of the championships. There was an early attempt by the home favourite Gatti to get away for Kenya, but that was soon neutralised. And then it was a long walk for home for Sofia Ramos Rodriguez of Mexico. She opened up that huge lead on the rest of the field. It was almost a lap at one point, and it was gold for Mexico. And we rounded off the morning with the qualifying heats of the 4x400 metres. In this heat, Kenya, despite some fairly unorthodox changeovers, were intent not only on qualifying, but on winning. At the final changeover, Jamaica and Botswana were the athletes that were in hot pursuit. But the win was what Kenya wanted, and we'll see them in the final. And finally, we had the 4x100 metres. We had a number of disqualifications. Jamaica was strong. Part of their heritage, sprint relays. Don't practice it very much, it just comes naturally. We'll see 3 of these teams in the final. Watch for the last changeover on the outside. The outgoing runner staggered, hit the ground, did finally finish. But Poland, Jamaica and Nigeria qualifying for the final in great style.
Update you with the official results of that second semi-final of the men's 800 metres. Noah Kibet 1:46.47, but Jakub Davidik national junior record 1:46.59 for the Czech Republic, and Abdullah Hassan navigating that race well, 1:46.89 to get that 3rd automatic qualification spot. Try and tie up the non-automatic qualifiers. Valsky there on 1:47.31. Will that be enough to make it into tomorrow's final?
These will be the qualifiers for the men's 800 metres. 2 Kenyans leading the qualifiers in speed order, but some opposition for them. It will be interesting to see if they run as a pair in that final and perhaps sacrifice one in pursuit of the gold, or whether the double is what they're coming for. So coming up shortly in the field, we've got the women's hammer throw competition. This is the athletes going through the final stages of call room 2. They have to have a number on their backpacks so that those are identifiable and don't get mistaken when there may be more than one from a team. They're quite nonchalant, aren't they? Quite relaxed. They have a long period. There's prescribed periods of warm-up for all of the events. The longest one by far is the pole vault, where they warm up. They're allowed to warm up for more than an hour. This one, I think, is 45 minutes or thereabouts. But looking forward to this final coming up.
Yes, and they would have met each other in that qualification round. Maybe started making those friendships, started working towards this final. I'd like to see.
Very chatty.
Rosa Loga there, all smiles, and I think that's a great way to approach a competition.
So the qualifiers are displayed on the screen, and that once again is in distance order. So Kosonen, the favourite, clearly, but with a 4-metre margin in the first round of qualification. Iceland with Runners Dottir in the final as well. I don't think I've seen an Icelandic competitor so far today. Do you recall them earlier in the week?
I think there was one other one, Runners Dottir and someone else. Maybe towards the start of the competition.
Those the final 2 non-automatic qualifiers. So a margin of 10 metres between first and last through the qualification period. That kind of reasserts the favourites' credentials. Team Nigeria are going okay, aren't they? They're having a good day today in the relays.
They are having a good day. They'll be excited as they look towards those relay finals tomorrow. They've got men's 200, women's 200 later. Got some athletes to cheer on in that, and the 400s. Do you feel like we've seen Nigerians in pretty much every track event between 100 and 400?
Yeah. Some of the coaches will, I think the previous fellow that we saw will be one of the coaches for that women's hammer, so he'll have positioned himself down close to trackside. Yeah, and they do go over most times between throws to just take a rain check. They used to, coaching didn't used to be allowed. Now it seems to be almost like an integral part of any championship that the coach is there, often with a recording of the throw, jump or performance, vault.
Is it tennis? They're not meant to coach from the sidelines. They're right there, but they're not really allowed to coach. Tennis.
Yeah. I don't know how that works. I mean, people get accused of making hand signals and gestures, but it's the players still got to do it, haven't they?
I think maybe just give over then, let them coach. Maybe that's what they did in athletics, and they've just conceded to that. These are the women for the 100-metre hurdles final. So you can Bunji there on your screens. She said she was disappointed with her performance at the Olympics and was really looking forward to this World Junior Championships as a chance to this redemption and finish her season off on a high. You can see them heading off there. They will do the grand entrance through the gates in a little bit. There is Kimbunji on your screens at the moment. Fourth sister in a family of runners.
Well, she's one of the biggest names here. I think anything less than gold would be a disappointment for her, wouldn't it? I mean, that's a bit harsh, but because it's a world title. But she should be the class of this field.
Akira Nugent, I think that is her on our screens. We do have two Jamaicans in the final, but Akira Nugent, she will want to race Kimbunji all the way to the line. They weren't in the same heat, so we haven't seen them against each other yet. But I think they did the same time in the qualification rounds, 13:02.
Oh wow! So she's in form.
QPC Championship record, 12:85.
To who?
Elvira Herman of Belarus from 2016, back in Bydgoszcz. Could be under threat.
Tiffany Porter races in her mask, doesn't she? It's just a personal choice, but she's done that throughout. She did it at the Olympic Games. I guess in sprint hurdles you can do it on one breath by and large, so you're not, requiring an aerobic element.
I think you're right that it's possible breath-wise, but I do worry with hurdles if a mask got in your eyesight at all.
Oh yeah,
it can be really quite. 60 meters. Yeah, you haven't got barriers.
If it slipped up.
With,
yeah.
Hurdles that's quite a skill. So we're going to bring you the athletes for the men's high jump final. This is Roman Petrik of Ukraine. It's a straight final for this competition. I thought we'd have some qualification rounds earlier in the week, but we didn't. Apologies, that was Jakub Beluk, the Czech Republic. I was going the wrong order. Sinfenson there. There you go, there's your other Icelandic competitor. Jonathan Kapitulunik of Israel. Israel have never won gold in this championships. Could the European Junior Champion change that? Tomasini of Slovenia, 2:22 personal best. No mark this season though for the young athlete. And Ahire, he is the under-20 national record holder for Nigeria. Middle Tennessee State University. Does a bit of triple jump as well. Samuel Hodossi Takas, Hungary. Massimiliano Lui of Italy, 2:16, his best. Jumping 8th will be Brian Reitz, he's just 17 from South Africa. Sharing a message with his friends and his family. his motivation for today, perhaps. 20:20 is his 2 meters and 20. Valan there at Kenya, 2 meters and 4. David Aya, another athlete from Nigeria, 2 meters 16. That's his best so far this season. Matthias Kolodeski from Poland, 2:23. He came second at the European Junior Championships. Could he convert that into a World Junior medal? Aidan Grout of Canada, he's done 2:19 and that's come just this season. So really the in-form athlete, he'll be jumping 11th. Milaneric of Croatia, 2:16 to his name. Proudly representing his country. Completing the lineup is Petruk of Ukraine, 2:18. So there's not much to choose between these athletes. A lot of them in those 2 meters and the teens. But do keep your eye out for Kapitolnuk of Israel. No gold medal for Israel in this event, and no medals at all for Nigeria. We've got Ahire is ranked 3rd overall, those season's best. So it'd be great if they could pick up some medals for their countries. So I was trying to fill you in over lunch, Jeff, about the joint medals they awarded in 2018. We thought, but it was so special to see that in the Olympic Games with Tamberi and Barshim sharing that gold. It was lovely scenes. But if we go back to the 2018 edition for this men's high jump, with Milos of Greece and Vilches of Mexico sharing gold medal on 2:23, and Poole of South Africa and Harrison of USA sharing the bronze medal. So they had a couple of joint medal celebrations in this men's high jump competition. I wasn't really aware. I knew it happened.
Yeah. So in Tokyo, when it was clear they had identical scorecards, I went into the room next door where Chris Cohen, the meeting manager, the senior official, was, and I said, "Do they have to jump off?" Because I'd seen Barshim do a jump off that went terribly. They ended up calling it a tie after 7 failures each as the bar went further down, and he said, well, they should. And I said, but can they share the gold? Well, they can. And that was kind of how it was expressed by the official down at the long jump. It's like, right, we're now into a long jump off, and Barshim said, can we not have a gold each? Well, you can. And then as soon as they clasped hands, it was decided. I think it will happen a lot more in the future, actually, because it's kind of a worthiness about it, isn't it?
There is. It was so nice to see what that meant to both of their men, those men. But Belek here, they've done their warm-up off screen and they've started this competition. So Jakub Belek there. First competitor to get this final underway. So nice first time clearance. 2 meters. Belek choosing to come in straight away at 2 meter height. So we've introduced you to that high jump final, but it's time for our track finals, and first up is the women's 100 meter hurdles final. Start from the outside lanes, or the inside lanes. Sonja Stang from Finland, 13:50, her season's best. Part of that strong Finnish team. In lane 3 will be Anna Toth from Hungary, trying to PB in the semi-final, 13:46. In lane 4, our first Jamaican athlete, Onika Wilson. And Onika Wilson is a DNS, so it will be an empty lane 4, and lane 5 is Bartz of Poland, PB in her semi-final of 13:36. Next up, lane 6, we've just been talking about her, Tatuya Kumbunji, the European Junior Champion, 12:94, one of 2 athletes under 13 seconds already this season. In lane 7, Akira Nugent of Jamaica, 12:76. Season's best, 13:02 yesterday, the same time as Kumbunji in their separate semi-finals. Victoria Forster, she had a fantastic week, 6th place in that 100 metres, and a second final here with the 100 metre hurdles. Completing our lineup in lane 9, she's just 17 years old, will be Anna Maria Milend of Estonia. National under-20 record yesterday. She started this championships on 13:95, then she went to 13:58 and 13:44. Run in her semi-final to make this final. navigated that presentation gate very well.
Yeah, but as they get older, there's more posing, more confidence, more swagger, isn't there, to come? But they're just kids at the moment.
So they are ready. We saw them out there doing their warm-ups. They will have already set their blocks up, practiced those first few flights of hurdles. They'll be ready. It is Stang of Finland in 2, Toth of Hungary in 3, Wilson doesn't start in lane 4, Butch of Poland in lane 5, Kambunji of Switzerland in lane 6, Nugent of Jamaica in lane 7, Forster of Slovakia in lane 8, and Milend of Estonia in lane 9.
On your marks. Set.
Rowing cleanly, and Kambunji for me rises first at that first hurdle. It's Kambunji of Switzerland in the low. Kambunji clatters that hurdle to leave Nugent of Jamaica. We've lost the pole in the middle. And the Slovakian. Wow.
4 finishers.
Akira Nugent, 12.96, sub 13 seconds, a great run, but there was carnage behind her.
I hope she's okay.
Heartbreak there from Kambunji. She was looking for redemption here. She was disappointed in her season, but Milend, 17 years old, from Estonia for second. Was that Anna Toth got third?
Well, I was watching all the casualties. Well done for keeping your focus. I think Kambunji stepped on the top of the hurdle.
We lost Forster there as well. I said it's their second final of the week. 6th place in that 100-metre final, and mistakes there for the Slovakian. But I think Anna Toth, the second 17-year-old in this field, she's celebrating like it might be a bronze medal. Just finishing that race was a battle, but you saw Anna Maria Milend there in your screens. She's in form. She's been lowering her PB all week. We'll try and get confirmation of that result and a replay, because that was very dramatic in that women's 100-metre hurdles final.
Well, so we lost 1 before the start and 3 during the race. 4 finishers, so all but 1 finisher got a medal. It's like a fun run or something, isn't it, where everybody gets a prize. I hope they're all okay, though. There were some very heavy falls, the speed they were going.
Akira Nugent there. That's a nice scene. I'll go get your flag for you. Akira Nugent is the champion. Should be. I think it's defending it for Jamaica. Anna Maria Milend there. 13.45, so just 100th slower than her under-20 national record she set yesterday. But don't think she'll care about that.
Well, Kambunji's walking away at least, but she'll be very disappointed with how that turned out. I've watched her for a few years. I don't remember her being somebody that clips hurdles. She's usually very clean over them, so something happened there.
But a long season for the Swiss athlete. She's been out to Tokyo as well. Top there, she has been given the bronze medal.
Can't believe it.
She ran a PB to get into the semi-final as well. That's just fantastic running under pressure. You can see it doesn't necessarily matter if you've got a fast time next to your name.
No. Well, let's watch this. What happened? Yeah, trail leg at the previous hurdle. Yeah, set everybody off.
Veronica Bartz there. I think if his camera angle goes any wider, we'll see the Polish athlete on Kambunji's inside. She will.
Hurdle 4. Oh, she's still tried to hurdle it, but it did set those off to the right-hand side. And there's Forster going on the other side. I think the disturbance effect, the clatter, must affect concentration. Look at it. It's not even sort of within lane. That's very unlucky for the Polish girl there to be sort of pushed into the hurdle. The main thing is I think they're all okay, but very dramatic race.
Forster, for me, she almost looked like something went wrong before that first hurdle. But real drama there in that women's 100 metres. But it was a victory for Akira Nugent. She navigated all of that carnage behind her. And Anna Maria Milland coming through for a second place. She was out in lane 9. And Anna Toth from Hungary. Those silver and bronze medalists, both just 17. Maybe they'll come back and have another go
in 2 years.
Cali and Colombia in 2 years' time. Just 5 finishes.
Well, and the fifth one jogged in 28 seconds as well, so 4 at full speed.
Let's hope that's the end of unfortunate drama. We like sporting drama, but back to the men's decathlon.
Well, this is event 9 out of 10, the javelin, the penultimate event. We're looking at a little package of highlights from that. We're looking at the medal contenders. This was San Pasta's third round throw. You can pretty much say, because they're all reasonably similar, well, Dobek's a better javelin thrower, but it will come down to 1500 metres, that nobody can rest on their laurels. This is the event leader with the green back number, Hautakiti of Belgium. It's his third round throw, his final throw, so he gets one in just beyond 51 metres. But you can see from his body language that he's already thinking of that 1500 metres, because this man has been on a charge. He had a magnificent pole vault, and he is the class, you can see from those biceps, the class javelin thrower of the field. Dubek of Czech Republic. Let's see what he's got in round 3. And there, boom, the roar accompanies it. And the roar greets the landing, because that's going to be a big personal best for Dubek. They might even put him in the lead going into the 1500 metres. That is going to be a fascinating event at altitude for these guys to conclude 2 days of competition. My goodness, they're going to have to dig very deep. That final throw was a personal best of 64.03 for Dubek, so he has absolutely bossed the last couple of events. Those are the points earned from it. He didn't win it, but he was the leading medal contender at 64.03, almost 800 points for him.
And that is a huge point swing there between Gente Hautakiti. You can see him in 5th place there, 607 points from that. He will have lost a lot of points to Dubek. I look forward to trying to get my head around their 1500 metre PBs and what this means, but that's where the standings are right now. Gente Hautakiti had 200 points on František Dubek overnight, but it is the Czech athlete from the Czech Republic who has gained that lead. So much of that done today in that pole vault, in that javelin throw. Jose Sampasta doing well to hang on to the bronze medal position, but it is all to fight for in the 1500 metres.
So this shows the current medalists with their graphic cylinders showing the balance of each of their events. If they were even across all of them, they would be nice even stripes. As it is, you'll see the big stripes are their heavier point scoring as we go through the 10 events, and the little thin stripes are their weaknesses essentially in points terms. So pretty good so far for Hautakiti and Dobek. Watch Dobek come on strong though once we get up to the second day and those last 2 events we've seen. A very diddy little stripe there for event 4 at the end of day 1 for Sampasta. That perhaps cost him a few points. We go into the sprint hurdles at the start of day 2. Then the discus. Here comes Dubek with some big bulky cylinders in the pole vault, and then watch for the javelin. It takes him past Hautakiti. The name of the game has got to be consistency, or at least no weaknesses, because that's cost Hautakiti. I'm not sure how much quicker than Dubek he now needs to run. What do we think? Maybe 15, 18 seconds or something like that?
Again, Ian Tempest.
Ian Tempest, where are you when we need you? We'll work it out when we need it.
1 second is 7 points.
Okay.
It's what's he need? 200 points. It's too much.
Yeah, it is too much, perhaps. Yeah.
It's maths I can't even do. It's just too much.
Not on day 4. You'd have been all right on Wednesday morning, wouldn't you?
I mean, 70 seconds? That doesn't feel right. But we are back with Hautakiti of Hungary. It's the men's high jump final. That was his first attempt at 206. So you got a few athletes over 206. Louis of Italy here for his first attempt. sure he would have loved seeing Tamberdi get that joint medal at the Olympic Games. We're here representing Italy really well so far in this World Junior final. First time clearance of 2:06. Miles over. Like we said, it's nice weather conditions. I think it's about 22, 23 degrees centigrade. 2:06. First time clearance for the Italian. It's Brian Rates, he's just 17. South Africa got that joint bronze medal last time round. Not to be the first time for Brian Rates. He has got a personal best of 2:20. That I'm going to sit down and think about how can I do this better. You're going to tell me how can I do that better. See Varland of Kenya, first time clearance at 2 metres. Love the pre-race routine from some of our field eventers. Oh, nice clearance there.
There was like a turbo wriggle in the air there, wasn't there? Watch the slow-mo.
It's like he's swimming through the air.
A dolphin kick.
Not as unorthodox as his teammate Chawanga in the women's side, but still, I like that. Varland, first time clearance at 2:06. That's a personal best.
Yeah, he's chuffed with that. He'll have to go higher if he wants to challenge, but that's a good start.
I hope we see him at the Commonwealth Games next year. I'd love to see him jump in Britain. Haya of Nigeria. 2 attempts to get over 2 metres. And this is his first attempt at 2:06. That's more like it. First time. 2:16 to his name, so he's got another 10 centimetres in there this season. It's been a long week for these men to wait to jump. The 4th day of this championship, so been patiently waiting in their hotels. Colin Zizek, Poland. Second on season's best. Silver medal at the European Junior Championships. And nicely over 2:06. Clearance Grout would have hoped for there. Just really, I don't know if his ankle gives way. It's almost on the wrong leg.
Yeah.
He gets to the bed.
I think he twisted round a little bit there, didn't he? There's that image on the opening graphic where it's the camera on the upright and the guy crashes into it. It always makes me flinch. We are looking at a very big screen, admittedly, but it's happened 3 times now. I've ducked out of his way.
Reliving
Great pictures.
Milanarik here of Croatia. Nice. He liked that as well. I liked it, he liked it. Hopefully his coach liked it.
Still jumping in his tights, which is a bit of a psych to the other guys.
Sure, that will do the early session nerves good. It's a little bit tense. We were calling out the names and he's getting ready for that jump, but maybe he's just focused in on his competition today. "17-year-old Ukrainian just knocking that off with his hand."
You look at some of these ages, 17, so he was born 2004. Honestly, I've got shirts older than that.
potential there. He's passed at 2 metres. Back to Belek. Bar still at 2:06 in this men's high jump final. See, second time failure there for Belek at 2:06.
I think one element that's always been a feature of high jump, but which appears to have intensified, is you have to not waste any failures at the lower heights. It costs so dearly later on.
You haven't really got time to feel your way into the competition. It could really come back and you could pay for it later in the competition. Sigfinson doing well there for Iceland. So it's 2 attempts there for Sigfinson to get over. And yeah, you do worry as you move through the competition.
But also, you don't want to be getting into the medal contest having jumped 12 times or whatever it is.
And another failure there for Hodossi Takas. He will try again at this height of 2 metres and 6 centimetres. And we cannot have as much drama as we did in that women's race. Let's hope not. This is the men's 110 metre hurdles. In lane 1, we have 9 men. Prosper Ekapore advanced because he collided with the Egyptian athlete in his semi-final, so he'll be delighted to get another chance today. Al-Absi of Qatar, national under-20 record yesterday of 13:52 to qualify for this final. And in lane 3 will be Stepan Schubert, Czech Republic, another PB yesterday. So many of these athletes just bringing their best to this World Junior Championships. But lane 4, Sasha Zoya turning into one of the stars of this championships. 13:93 for a World Junior record yesterday. Will the French athlete go faster today? John Paredes of Colombia, 13:46 lifetime best in the semi-finals. Jakub Szymanski finished fast in his semi-final yesterday. He said he was disappointed with his race. The first half just not what he needed to produce his best. In lane 7, Vashon Viscana, Jamaica, he won his heat. 13:35, a season's best to qualify for this final. Sihong Zhang of Hong Kong, national under-20 record yesterday, 13:57. And completing this men's 100 metre hurdles, the second Frenchman, it's Erwan Sinner. 13:51, personal best yesterday. It's 2 Frenchmen in this final. So exciting for a nation that have been so fantastic over these hurdles. Zoya taking the world junior record from his compatriot Wilhelm Bossian, European indoor champion this year. You can see Bossian had that record. I think that's the old graphic. We were unsure about the wind readings, but I thought we did think Sasha Zoya was good for that world junior record, but maybe he'll go again today anyway. But this is your men's 110 metre final. 9 men. Let's see, Sasha Zoya there. Keep an eye out for Szymanski. If he gets his race right and uses that fast finish, he could be in contention for a medal. Vashon Viscana from Jamaica. I'm sure we'll look up to Hansel Parchment, the brand new Olympic champion in this event. And Erwan Sinner, his second Frenchman, completes the lineup out there in lane 9.
On your
Zoya, though, undefeated in 2021. Can he continue that string in the biggest race of the season?
Set.
And we're away first time. Zoya gets a good start in the middle. It is Zoya of France in the inside, but Vascano of Jamaica is trying to go with him. Zoya from Vascano, a mistake from the Jamaican, leaves Zoya all out there on his own. 12.73. Sasha Zoya, doesn't matter what he ran yesterday, doesn't matter what the win was, because today he's done 12.73. He's been targeting this championships and he has delivered.
The sport's been crying out for somebody like him in the post-Bolt era, haven't we? There'll be all sorts of pressure heaped on him in the countdown to Paris 2024, but I think he can handle it. He held together by tape on the shoulder and the leg, but it didn't slow him down at all. He's very, very special and a rare talent, and good news for our sport.
He's got a fantastic history already. He's very entertaining, does some fantastic interviews. He has competed for Australia in the past, but he was first coach. His mother is French, and he is so excited to be representing France now. He's spoken so eloquently and passionately about the excitement of representing France. Great silver medal there for Vasquiana. Couldn't defend the title for Jamaica.
Well, he put him under an awful lot of pressure until about the 8th hurdle, and then clipped it and had to hang on tight for the silver.
So yeah, he did so many sports growing up. A big list of sports that he tried, but one of them was figure skating. Figure skating, the perfect pathway into world-class high hurdling.
Well, there's something about his technique, isn't there? Because often in his races against very good opposition, he's a full set of hurdles clear, and that's a rare thing in a sport that's won by the odd 100th or two. So he's just so smooth. Good luck to him.
Exciting to see how he progresses into the senior ranks. Szymanski then, he was so hard on himself after his semi-final yesterday. So it wasn't good enough, I must do better. He has today, picking up that bronze medal. Posing. Zoya leading the charge on the posing, the rest of them joining in.
Is he a little bit Dennis Rodman in his manners, do you think?
What I love, a lot of these athletes, you see them wearing the Kenyan beaded bracelets.
Yes.
Big thing. The Kenyans wear them and they love to hand them out to visitors. We've seen so many of our athletes wearing them.
Well, they make them bespoke, so you can have one in joint flame colours, you can have your name embroidered into them. They're nice little athletic souvenirs.
Look back, you can see Zoya there. Got out so well in lane 4. The Jamaican Vasquiana doing really well until he just stepped on the hurdle. He did well to keep himself in the race, but look at Szymanski, perfectly timed dip to defend that bronze medal. So just a note on the junior hurdle heights are slightly lower than the senior. So Vasquiana will have to find a little bit of extra height if he's going to safely navigate that. But Zoya, really great technique. Look how steady he is, and his shoulders and his head. Clipped one of the hurdles, but it didn't trouble him. 12.73. Look what it means to him as well. Love to see that passion and that excitement when our athletes perform.
Yeah, it's the thing about making room for the hurdles, keeping everything linear, smooth as possible. Torso stays still and composed and relaxed, even when he was under pressure, because we only saw him in that head-on clip, but he'll have known in his peripheral vision that the Jamaican was attacking him, and he seems to have the temperament to withstand that.
His teammate pointing. What do you reckon he was pointing? Where's everybody else gone? Just Sasha all on his own. Confirmation of that result. Look at all those personal bests and national records. We already had so many through the rounds, but another world under-20 record for Sasha Zoya, 12.72. We thought we might see something special, and we did. Vashawn Vasquiana for Jamaica, second place, 13.25, and Jakub Szymanski for Poland, 13.43, and a personal best. Bronze medal. Great to see another national under-20 record there for Alab C, fourth place. And Sinner proving his personal best yet again. 13.50 and a Hong Kong national under-20 record to boot. Poor Aldo must have hit a hurdle there as well. We missed that on the replay. But Jeff, did you see the story about Hansel Parchment and the volunteer
he went
Tokyo?
to the wrong venue, and a lady volunteer got him his taxi fare to get him back. Otherwise, he'd have missed his semi-final, I think. And he, bless him, he went back to the same venue to find her, to give her back some money and make her a star.
Gave her some Jamaica kit as well. It was a wonderful story. If you go on his social media and check that out.
So it's time for the women's hammer throw final. This is the athlete throwing at 1, second in the European Youth Olympics for Italy. It's Rachel Mori. 65.03 is one of the longer throws in the field. So she'll be hoping for a medal out of this. The Cypriot, Valentina Saba, just 16 years old, throwing at 2. She's thrown 60 metres exactly this year. Valentina Claveria of Chile, the South American junior champion, throws at 3. Then for Turkey, Ece Nartuk, the Balkan junior champion, throwing 5th, 4th in the European Youth Championships for Belarus, Mariola Bukel. Throwing at 6, it's the national junior champion for Czech Republic, that's Barbara Stefiova. And this is the clear favourite for this title, the new world junior record holder at 73.43. It's Silja Kozanen of Finland. She'll be followed by Karolina Bomba of Poland, throwing at 8 in this 12-woman final. Arda Capelli is the second Finn with a best of 64.12, throwing at 9. Elisabeth Runas-Dottir, 8th in the European Youth Games. Best of 64.39. She'll be throwing at 10. Then Loga for France, who are having a good few minutes. She should challenge for a medal. She's the second longest thrower in the field at 71.09. And the final thrower, the second French athlete, will be Estelle Veillas, who's thrown 62.27. So they'll each have 3 throws in the order in which we've just met them, after which the leading 8 will go forward for 3 further throws. In reverse order, with the leader throwing last. That's confirmation that the temperature has stayed around that 25 degrees, a little bit humid. Men will contest the junior men's world final at the 1500 metres. Let's meet them. Hip number 1 for Morocco is Hamded Bouchalik. He's run 3.46, the Moroccan bronze medalist in the junior championships. Hip number 2 is Ilis Mehoubi of France, 3.46 competitor. Hot on his heels, couldn't wait his turn. Kimar Etyang of Kenya. Then Santu Haikinen. I think they're meant to be coming out one at a time, but you know what these 1500 metre runners are like. So in the end, it's a mass entry. We'll pick up on them on the start line, but the quickest in the field is the Ethiopian that you saw come out 6th there. That's Melkane Azizi, 4th in the senior Olympic trials for Ethiopian. He's run 3.33. And Hannah, when we have 2 per team in the final, it'll be interesting to see if there are team orders, whether they run as a unit to try and maintain a pace, accelerate.
Yeah, we might have some team tactics, but just to update, we had a no throw from Mori there in the first round of the women's hammer throw competition. We'll go back to that after this track action, but we could see some team tactics. It might be interesting there. A Tang He ran really strongly yesterday. I said both of the, was it yesterday or the day before? Both of the Kenyan athletes looked really strong and they really wanted to win their heats. We saw that in the men's 800 as well. So they had that front running sort of all there for themselves attitude in the heats, but they didn't have a teammate. So maybe they will change their tactics for this race.
I think it'll go out fast, but what they have to bear in mind is there are 1,850 metres, and that in 1,500 metres could exact quite a price over the last 400 metres, the last lap. That's when it will start to hit them, the altitude and the thin air. So Sia does not start for Eritrea. He was the runner-up in their World Junior Trials. Pausing on Etiang, who's improved to 3:33 this year. Azizi is also a 3:33 man. Vincent Keita is a 800 specialist as well as 1,500 in 3:35. Wegane Adisu has run 3:34. So these are tremendous times for under 20 athletes. Oriach, one of just a couple of, I think there's 3 European athletes who've made it through to this World Junior final. All few clips of the heels, Oriach. So they all set off with intent, but it has settled quite quickly at 100 metres. Not especially quick so far, and 4 abreast at the front of the field, which means that those on the outside are running about, 4 metres further around the bend, 5 metres further.
This is so typical of championship 1500 metre running, particularly on the European level. Tend to at the world level see it go faster in the seniors. And Etiang there of Kenya drifting around the outside. But yeah, it's that sprint to get to the inside to get out of trouble, and then you slam the brakes on because you don't actually want to lead the race. But Katia to the fore. Katia, one of the Kenyan athletes, Etiang the second, they are in first and second position. So come round to 1 lap to go, 1 lap in. This first lap underway, it is Kenya in first and second.
61.07, so in the end that was a pretty decent lap because it had a very slow segment. You can see the speeds are going up on the left hand side of the graphic. The fastest man at the moment is Keita, but there's a leader and a blocker in there, or at least there was. It's a change of leader with Etiang, and the Ethiopians working their way through, currently in 4th and 5th. You can't be as certain of your kick, even if you've got the fastest 800 metre time in the field. If you're trying to do that off thin air, it will evaporate. It's a great leveller. So those that fancy a long run for home and who can flatten out the differentials in lap speeds will profit from this. So the winner could be the person who runs an average of 59 seconds per lap or something like that. Still Kenya 1 and 2.
No, I think you're right, Jeff. The pacing is so important in this, and I think that's a 58. Yeah, they got 61.58. So that is not insignificant. And Etiang doing much of that running. See Adisu of Ethiopia on the outside. It must be Azizi on the inside. That 3:33 PB to his name. But I don't think that would have been done at altitude. So that's not necessarily directly convertible out here on this track in Nairobi. But it is a change in the lead. Keta of Kenya, he fancies the lead for a little bit. He's got 1.5 metres on his teammate from Kenya. You can see that graphic in your corner. But just a metre, and Ethiopians are closing that gap. It's Kenya, Kenya, Ethiopia, Ethiopia as they battle this men's 1500 metres.
Well, the smart running at the moment for me is the 2 Ethiopians, because they've worked their way up to this position, whereas it's been the 2 Kenyans who've actually taken it on and have perhaps been a bit lavish with their energy expenditure. Let's see who's got the wheels over the last 300 metres. It was a 56 lap, so it's getting quicker and quicker. It's not an economical way of running it, but Keita still looking pretty good at the moment. Has he burned off enough of the jet fuel of the chasing Ethiopians? Adisu is the one closest, he's in silver. But Keita looks full of running at the moment. Past the water jump with 150 metres to run. Puffing a bit now, but I think he's taken enough of the sting out of the kickers. Keita heading them home. Adisu for Ethiopia. The great rivalry continues. It is looking like an Kenyan sandwich. Keita wins it. Adisu in second. And it is a bronze for Kenya. And he's happy enough with that. And that's quick running off the way that they started. 3:37 at altitude is absolutely not to be sniffed at.
I'd love to see those scenes of the crowd celebrating as well. If you look at the replay, be careful with Etienne. He was third across the line, but he stumbled on the rail around the bend, and I think he might have fallen off the track. Whether that will be deemed to be an unfair advantage or not, it certainly slowed him down a bit. I hope not. The tall Kenyan who was in third place. But Azize, 3:33 coming into this, coming away with fourth place. That just shows how championship running can be different and racing at altitude. And Keita there, fantastic winner for Kenya in the men's 1500 metres final.
Etienne didn't look that pleased, did he, with his bronze? He perhaps would have preferred a 1-2, obviously. But I hadn't spotted that. Hawkeye will have spotted that, so it'll be interesting. And the phrase that tends to get used is any advantage gained, and it's hard to see that there was really, but that's nice.
Until they blacked him out. let's just make the picture look like it was first second, but
yeah, Azize joining in as well. Why not?
I like the element of that with these nations. It often join in the celebrations. You know, they're pleased for their teammates. And pleased to be representing their country as well. But here we go, as we look at the last lap, this is 200 to go.
Where's the rail incident? About now?
About 20 metres. And he looks over his shoulder.
Oh, yeah. It didn't advantage him, did it? If anything, he struggled to stay on his feet. Lost momentum, nearly lost fourth place. Keita, look at the composure in the face there for a man that's run each lap quicker than the previous one. He really didn't give them anything to go on at all. The one that perhaps sacrificed himself a little bit was Etienne, but still comes away with a bronze medal, subject to any view that may be taken on hitting the rail there. That was a nice race.
And a strong fifth place there from Paul Auriac, the Spanish athlete. He would have paced himself really well in finishing like a train, nearly got fourth. But it was a Kenyan victory. I think, looking back at that replay, Etienne, I feel like he just stepped on it, not over it. When I was looking at it in real time, I was worried he'd stumbled on the infield and that might be classed as an advantage, but I think it'll be gold and a bronze for Kenya.
The reason they're so particular about that is that the distance, 400 metres, is not the rail. It's, 12 centimetres away or something like that, so normal running distance away from the rail, a slightly greater circuit. There's confirmation of the result. It was a good race. Look at that though, 12 seconds between first and last, so it was blast off right from the start, and a personal best, as you noted, for the Burundian athlete. Mihubi, I noticed him at the start. He finished it. He was struggling from a very early stage there.
And yet another final going underway on the action on the infield in Nairobi, and starting that will be Trinice Hamilton from Dominia. She is the only representative from her country. She's already a North American, South American junior champion, so brilliant competitor. Shivenkovic here from the authorised neutral athletes, fourth of the European Junior Championships. Debra Quaresma from Portugal, eighth at those European Junior Championships. Portuguese junior champion this year. Kinsey here of Turkey, second at the Balkan Junior Championships in 2020, third this year, and seventh at the European Junior Championships. Maureen Akisa, the Kenyan junior national champion. I'm sure she enjoyed watching that men's 1500 unfold. Kauska from the Czech Republic, 1574, Czech junior champion. Akoil of Turkey, 1765. She is the longest thrower in this field. First at the European Junior Championships, can she add the junior title? Roots of South Africa, our first South African athlete, and Mina de Klerk. She's already got a silver medal in the discus throw with a new African record. 17:55. She's just 10 centimetres away from that leading mark. I'm sure she'll be looking to improve that today. And Dragomirova of Greece, 15:69. Greek junior shot put champion. And an indoor pentathlon as well. And a former heptathlete, so a little bit of everything, but just the shot put for the Greek today. Spectators enjoying some time off. Maybe this is some of the workers that have helped put this championships on. They're just getting to relax and enjoy it. Kenyan team management as well. Busy few days for them. Finnish team there, relaxing. I think they might be. Who are they waiting to see? Maybe the end of that decathlon. They've got a couple of guys in that. Just soaking up the atmosphere like the rest of the individuals in the stadium. Steeplechase champion there, I think, on your right.
Yes, it is.
So much action underway. It's either steeplechase or the flat 3K. I think it was the steeplechase.
So we talked about this. This is Etiang stepping over the rail, and at the moment he has been disqualified from the bronze medal in the 1500 metres. He's having an unlucky year. He was third in the Kenyan Olympic trials, but then because he hadn't been subject to enough anti-doping tests, he was replaced by Timothy Cheriot. So he missed out on the Olympics, and at the moment he is disqualified subject to appeal from the men's 1500 metre final.
And another final for you, this time the women's 800 metres. 8 competitors, and our first lady in lane 1 will be Avery Pearson from Canada. Taking her time, building the tension. She's a kinesiology student. And she was a non-automatic qualifier yesterday through those heats, but looked fantastic through the rounds. And in lane 2 will be Veronika Sadek from Slovenia. 2:06.62. It's all right, we've got you, you can go. Carry on your warm-up. Svetlana Zulchik, she raced really smartly for me yesterday. She was second in her heat. She's got a 2:04.02 to her name. I really showed that class yesterday, as did Rosamilia. Switzerland is getting really good at producing 800 metre runners, and Valentina Rosamilia carrying that tradition on. Marina Martinez, she won Heat 2 yesterday. She's a European Junior 1500 metre champion. Sorry, second place at the European Juniors, but looking really strong, as is Danakchu of Ethiopia. She won her heat 2:02.94, second fastest in the field on personal bests. Elise Nielsen of Belgium qualified as the fastest loser. She will have lane 7 and lane 8. Eli Dilagiani from Greece, studying at Stanford, 4th at the European Junior Championships. Brave run in her semi-final yesterday. She led that out, made sure it was a true run race, and was rewarded with a spot in this final. It's a long way from the gate to their start line.
Half a lap, isn't it? So you can see a couple of them preferring to saunter.
Is that more mind games?
I think so.
Delagiani, she looks like she'd make everyone wait for her. Who can get there the slowest and then get round 2 laps the fastest? But I'm excited to see how Marina Martinez runs. Here she is on your screen, silver medalist from the 1500 at the European Junior Championships. Changing events here. I think it's great when athletes have an opportunity to mix up the events. But she looked really strong yesterday for me. Annelies Nielsen there, competing well for Belgium. Like I say, the Ukrainian, she was in that heat where Delegiani took it out really hard. She just bided her time and timed her finish really well. Excited to see how she's raced.
Well, you either need a front runner by inclination, or you need a team agreeing that somebody will take it out quick. Otherwise, the danger is it spurts off for a first bit and then settles, and you get a lot of reluctance to lead. Nobody wanted to make a fool of themselves, really, or sacrifice themselves.
And I can't see us getting a natural front runner. Maybe Dagnacciu will fancy her chances. She's on 2:02.94 this season. Lady on your screen then, Valentina Rossamilia, she's 2:02.38. She was third at the European Juniors, so perhaps on paper the fastest personal best. But from the outside, we'll give you that lineup again. Delegiani, Stanford student studying out in America, competing for Greece today. Nielsen in 7, Dagnacciu of Ethiopia in 6, Martinez of Spain in 5, Rossamilia from Switzerland in 4, Dulcik from Ukraine in 3, Sadek of Slovenia in 2, and Pearson of Canada in 1. 8 competitors, 8 different countries, 2 laps of the track. It's the women's 800 metres final.
On your marks.
And they're off, and I think the only example we saw of front running was Delegiani throughout the rounds. Everyone else was content just to sit in, perhaps worried about this altitude, but as we can see, this first 200 metres, Avery Pearson doing well, getting herself in pole position. The Canadian has raced lightly this year, affected by the pandemic, unable to find the competition she's wanted, but she's had a lot of high quality competition this week. And it is Delegiani repeating her tactics of the semi-final. She moves into first place, 23.37, perfect, just what you want in a women's 800 metres.
Those are the gaps tracking in between, so they're pretty well strung out, even between the first 3 athletes for this first third of the race.
Delegiani holding that pace well. What we saw through the rounds with so many of these women was the third 200 really slowing down. Delegiani was one of the athletes that didn't slow down with her brave run in that semi-final. She fancied her chances again. You can see Zulchik from Ukraine moving up, 61. They've slowed a little bit. Zulchik of Ukraine, I said she was good tactically, and she's made a great move there to get herself into third place. But Delegiani of Greece still holding the lead. Dagnacciu of Ethiopia in second, Zulchik of Ukraine in third, all to play for with 300 metres to go in this women's 800 metre final.
Well, you would expect the altitude effect will kick in somewhere around the 200 metre point, which is exactly this stage that the lactic acid will also kick in. So this will go to the strongest athlete on the day.
And Dagnacciu, she's moved well down that back straight and she's kicked. Is that the Ethiopian? Home and dry. Rossamilia looking around her. She's got to go. It's only 160 metres to go. Can Zulchik hold on to that second place? She looked so good yesterday. But Dagnacciu of Ethiopia, she's come in with one of the fastest personal bests. She's looked great through the rounds. And it is going to be Dagnacciu of Ethiopia. She's powering away. She has 30 metres to go. And it's Rossamilia of Switzerland coming through for second place. Looking left, looking right. Dagnacciu is your victor. Rossamilia second. And Delegiani rewarded for that early running with a bronze medal.
Yeah, we would have very readily ruled out Delegiani there at 200 to go, but she revived really strongly. This girl was just too tough to beat today, wasn't she? That kick off that pace was hard.
You can see the fatigue on the faces of those ladies. 3 rounds at altitude is no joke. And Dagnacciu of Ethiopia coming out on top. Had some strong Kenyan challenges in the opening rounds. We thought they would feature in this final, but they couldn't make it through the rounds. Such an important element of championship running. But sub 203 at 4,000 feet for Dagnacciu. Rossemilia there as well. Valentina Rossemilia of Switzerland. Bronze medal at the European Juniors, silver at the World Juniors. Fantastic season for the Swiss athlete. She's been preparing at altitude in St. Moritz. I'm sure that would have done her some favours as she progressed through these rounds.
Well, I'm not sure I've seen a Greek middle distance medal, male or female, in any event ever. So that's astonishing for Deligiani. Is she the Stanford student, did you say?
She is. I think not even a flag from the team. No one expected it.
Give her something.
We saw Toth, the Hungarian, in the hurdles, just had a scarf.
It was a scarf, wasn't it? Yeah, that was, well, something a little bit Greek, a yogurt or something to hold.
But Dagnachu is your victor. Hayal Dagnachu from Ethiopia, 2:02.96. Massive winning gap, 1.3 seconds over Valentina Rossemilia of Switzerland and Eli Deligiani of Greece. She head back to Stanford with her head held high. So much prestige and sporting history, and she is added to that today. Veronika Sadik rewarded with a personal best at altitude in her third and final round at the World Junior Championships, 2:04.96 for fourth.
On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see two athletes with a flag. They're rummaging very, very deep in the flag box to find the Greek middle distance flag. It's been many years, probably 1896 since it was last used. I hope she gets it. Otherwise a Stanford flag or something, but what a proud moment for her.
Silver for Orestis Dissakis in the discus. Yeah, where's his flag? Come on, surely he's got it in his bag. Dagnachu there, paced that really well. It was a busy race, lots of bodies to navigate, but Dagnachu put her foot down on the back straight, got herself into pole position to go around this final bend, and then could just power away to the victory.
Well, Deligiani hasn't got a medal with 80 to go. Watch the drive, she's not even in the camera shots. So that was a really good recovery over the last 80 metres for her to grab that bronze medal, if not a flag.
I think that's really composed running when you've had the lead. She led for 600 metres and was then swallowed up by the pack.
Yeah.
She didn't panic, she didn't give up, and fought all the way to the line to come all the way back round for a bronze medal.
Logo in the hammer final. Her opening throw for the French woman. Rose Logo, a little bit of a squeal there. Looked like she was going to walk out after it, but she's let it ride.
She looked full of beans in the call room, didn't she?
Was it her? Was it her that was chatting away?
Rosa Logo, loving every minute of that hammer circle.
65.02. She moves up into an early bronze medal position, so something to chat about. Buchel for Belarus. This is her second round throw. She threw 65.19. She's in second place at the moment with that opening throw. Oh, little jig to support that one. That's around the same sort of ballpark. Straight down the middle. And it's a 1 centimetre improvement, so she remains in second place. Now the pre-race favourite. Had an astonishing qualification, Silja Kosonen. Finland really does expect from her. Let's see if she can deliver. Left-hander, so the cage will have been modified with the gate. Oh, does she like it? She should. That's going to be the lead. So the gate comes in from the right-hand side for the left-handed thrower and gets moved back for the right-handers.
Keep your eye out there. That is the championship record. Little box she had there on the track. That is currently 70.62 for Tavernier. And Kosonen has gone better, 71.64 for the Finnish athlete.
6-metre lead. That could be game over in the women's hammer with that championship record.
Over to the women's shot. Call of Turkey. Right. Close that 17-metre mark there for her first throw. Cole, 17.65. She's the longest in the field. Showing her class here in the opening rounds. So many of these field athletes, they seem to come out with big throws in the first round. Nervous wait for the Turkish team. It's one of the steeplechase athletes, I think, in the field there. 16.62 for the first round throw for Piner Cole. Next up, Mina de Kirk. She's going to be so proud of her trip out to Kenya already. A silver medal in the discus. Ooh, and that's a great first round throw. Mina de Kirk starting as she means to go on. I think that might be just over that 17-metre mark. Just eyeballing the screen. Teammates looking on nervously. There's a bit of a celebration there. 17.30. 70-centimetre lead for de Klerk in round one. Bielik in the high jump. 2.14. Second attempt for the Czech athlete. Struggling to find his feet out there. We'll have another go at 2.14. He's done 2.17 indoors. He could only manage 2.13 at the European Junior Championships, and he'll have one final attempt at 2.14. For sixth place at the moment. You can see we have got a cluster of athletes there over 2.14. And there'll be some other athletes trying to join them. Sigfinson, Iceland. Just one official trying to do their job for the race coming up hasn't spotted that there's a high jumper on the outside of the track. Is he going to be able to jump? He's saying, fine, you go first. I'll wait, it's only the World Junior Final.
He wants his jump clock restarted there, doesn't he? Well, it's an eagerly awaited final, the women's 400 metres. Let's meet the athletes from the outside. It's Malepo Precious from the Republic of South Africa. 53.59, her best time. Ella Clayton of Canada is in lane 7. Canadian Youth Champion of 2019. Canada have got a representative in both the men's and the women's final. For Nigeria, this is Iyamabong Nise Uko. She ran in the Olympics in the mixed 4x4. Then the favourite, the new European Junior Champion for Poland, Kornelia Leszkiewicz. 52.02, her best time. In lane 4, the winner of the World Junior Trials for Kenya, Sylvia Chelangat. Looks like we've got a withdrawal in lane 3, which would have been Oniko Makanaf of Jamaica. So we move to lane 2, where it's the athlete who was 4th in the Asian Youth Championships, Priya Mohan of India. And on the inside, Tatiana Karaschuk, the Balkan Junior Indoor Champion for Ukraine. So one lap of the track, 7 athletes going for the World Junior title in the women's 400 metres.
On your marks. Set.
If the seeding, based on the results from the rounds, counts for anything, the medalists should come from lanes 4, 5 and 6. That's Sylvia Chalanga of Kenya, Liskovic of Poland and Uko of Nigeria. And it is the fastest woman in the field, Cornelia Lesevic, who has gone out strongly and leads as we approach the halfway point. Nearest challenger is Uko, who's trying to hold her, but the bend is in favour of the Polish athlete. And some charges coming in on the inside there from Mohan of India. How does the stagger see her come off the bend? Challenging for a medal is the answer. It's Poland 1, Nigeria 2, India on the inside. And the Nigerian is attacking over the last 30 metres. She is going to take this. Uko wins it for Nigeria. Lesevic hangs on for the silver. And Chalangat of Kenya the bronze. So they were the medalists from the seeded lanes, but really not in the order that we might have expected. Kenyans in the stand celebrating that bronze medal, but it's gold for Nigeria, and Iamobong and Issei Uko, and a prone celebration for Sylvia Chalangat.
We said it this morning with the Nigerians in the 4x4 in the men's side. They finished so strongly in that last 50 metres, and Uko does that as well. Personal best of 51.55. And Lesevic of Poland, silver medal for her as well. She went out to Tokyo as part of that Polish 4x4 team. Didn't compete, but I'm sure she gained so much experience. Personal best for her as well, 51.97.
Well, the first three have all got personal best, and I think you can say that's the advantage of altitude for less than a minute's worth of running, because you're going through thin air with less resistance and you can maintain speed for longer. So they've all come away with a nice little souvenir from Nairobi.
Uko and Lesevic there matching their results from the mixed relay for their nations. Nigeria won that, Poland coming second. I think Lesevic ran in that. I think she's one of the athletes that ran in the final, so she'll go home with 2 silver medals and Uko with 2 gold medals. I think you're right, the altitude does make these races faster, but it's still tough rounds. It's been a tough programme for the 400 metre runners. Still the female 4x400 metres to go tomorrow. But here's how the race unfolded.
Well, here Uko still potentially with a little bit to do. The Polish athlete Lesevic really attacked the first 200 metres and was leading coming into the straight. But watch the charge over the last 30 metres. You don't often get that in 400 metre running. It's a hold to the finish rather than an acceleration. But this looks like a real kick off the final bend. So Lesevic still leading at this point. And here comes the turbo switch outside. She perhaps thought she was running for gold, and then a green vest appears in her rear view mirror and turns it into silver.
Lesevic, for me, she had a great first 200, and then she looked a little bit laboured from there. I thought she did so well to hold on, but I'm sure that charge came from Uko. Maybe she was delighted it was just one athlete getting past her
I don't
in
think
that final 50 metres. Yeah, nothing left in those Polish legs. Brilliant bronze there for Kenya as well.
Did you notice one of the few athletes not wearing kinesiology tape was the kinesiology student in the women's 1500 metres? Perhaps she knows a thing or two. Look at that personal best. I think that tells the tale, doesn't it, of thin air and a world final, the motivation of that.
Great there, 5 out of 7 personal bests. Mohan for India there as well, hard fought. 4th place, 52.77, and a brand new personal best. Chalangat just adding to this massive Kenyan medal score. Seem to be picking up medals left, right and centre. it is time for another medal ceremony.
Please welcome the medalists.
Let's have a look at those flags. I think it is 100-meter hurdles. There they are. There's our athletes on the track. So much drama in that race. Just the four finished. Forster got up and finished, but just four finishers racing hard for the whole race. Milend of Estonia, she said it means everything to me.
The medalists will be acknowledged
in Nairobi. Happy with my new personal best as well. John Ridgen, CEO, acknowledging our medalists. Also saying how sorry she was to see Kimbunji fall.
Representing Hungary.
There she is, Anna Maria Milend. Nope, that's Anatol first. Hungarian. She said she's in shock. She didn't expect to win this medal. She said, maybe I was just lucky, but the 17-year-old will have another chance at these World Junior Championships if she wants it in 2 years' time.
Silver medalist representing Estonia.
Bronze medal for Hungary.
Anna Maria Milend.
Estonian Milend, another 17-year-old picking up her silver medal from the 9th lane as well. Fantastic round of composure in a busy race inside her.
Gold medalist and World Under-20 champion representing Jamaica.
Kira Nugent taking that gold medal for Jamaica, adding to the Jamaican history in the sprint hurdles. Said she struggled through the rounds, but really brought her best performance here for this final. Great victory for Kira Nugent to come on to that 13 seconds.
Of Jamaica.
Mabibi na mabwana, wimbo wa taifa la Jamaica.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge our World Under-20 Championship medalists.
Mabibi na mabwana, tuwahongere washindi wa medali mashindano ya riadha chipukizi wasiozidi miaka 20.
See our medalists from the 100-meter hurdles for women. Getting their pictures taken. Kira Nugent, your champion for Jamaica. But we will bring you back to the action in the women's shot put. Right, South Africa, her second round throw. Looking for an improvement on her first round throw. 14.99. 14.90 in her first round. So we've got 10 competitors, just 8 will get their 4th, 5th and 6th attempts, so they'll be battling for that. It's 14.99 for Reutz. Bumps her up into 3rd place. So Akisa of Kenya. Great bronze medal for her teammate in the women's 400. Kisa looking for a valid throw. So foul in the first round. She gets the shot put in the sector. 7:34 for Akisa. Gets a mark on the board. Briskowska now, Czech Republic. Looking for an improvement on her 14:54 from the second round. Just shy of that 15-metre mark, so she might have added to her 14:54. Don't think we needed to wait for the figure to know that wasn't an improvement for the athlete. She let us know with her facial expression, through the medium of facial expressions, that wasn't good enough. That looks good. Oh, she doesn't like it, I guess. 16:62 from the first round is so good.
Yeah.
I was hoping for more, just further than the last few competitors we saw.
The thing is, even if you have a modest throw by your own standards, it's worth having it measured, because you never know when you're going to need, on count back, your second or third best throw to deadlock a tie on the best distance.
Really right, Josh. She's added 10 centimetres, and de Klerk is just out there in the lead at that 17:30. 8 centimetre counts. So Anna Voigt here looking for an improvement on her 14:99. At third place at the moment. 16:12. So Dana Voigt there looking for an improvement on her 14:99. It's a smile. It's not 14:77, but that's a good series there from South African. Holding on to that bronze medal position, just 4 centimetres.
There's quite a proportion of these athletes who will be eligible for the next World Junior Championships, because this has been put back a year, and it means that on the rotation, Carly Columbia will be next year. So we might have a reunion.
That'd be fun for these athletes. De Klerk, and it'd be great if she's still eligible. I feel like she's 18. I feel like I heard that stat yesterday. So what if she picks up 2 medals? Quite a rare feat to do 2 World Junior Championships, but you're right, we could have a wonderful reunion. Yep, de Klerk's just 18.
The really unusual stat is shared by Usain Bolt and the shot putter from New Zealand, whose name has temporarily escaped me, where they won the World Juniors and then went back the following year and won the World Youth. So they won at under 20, and then the following year won at under 18, because they were 16-year-old prodigies.
It's just showing off, isn't it?
Jacko Gill. Jacko Gill was the name of the Kiwi shot putter. He's still going at senior men's level.
Great throw from Komirova. Lovely Greek names out there. She would have cheered on for the infield as she watched Della Gianni, Greece, take that bronze medal in the women's 800. Now for 6th place at the moment, but we'll go and have a look at the women's hammer throw, see what's going on over there. That's Sava of Cyprus entering the circle.
Well, we're into the leading 4 throws in round 4 because the athletes have been reversed and put in order of ascendancy. So Valentina Sava has thrown a national junior record, but that's only good enough at 62.18 for 4th. She needs to find another 3 meters to improve. It means that the next 3 throws are the current podium places, and really the competition has been put to bed by the leader Silja Kosonen of Finland, because she threw a championship record within 2 meters, as you can see at the top of the caption, of her own world junior record. And look at the margin, 6 meters. But an opportunity for Rose Loga of France to advance her cause. She needs to improve from 65.02, just 18 centimeters, to upgrade herself from current bronze to possible silver. It's pretty decent. It's in that same ballpark. Keep your eye on the measurement. 65.02 is her current best. 65.20 is what she needs to exceed to move up into silver for France. And she's done it. 67.11. So Rose Loga probably in the position that she was expected to be as a 71-meter thrower, but she's had to use the rounds to come through that.
Rosa Loga, 2nd place at the European Junior Championships. Oh, you see Saga Vinnanen, our heptathlon champion. It's relaxing, soaking up the atmosphere. That's what you get to do when you're champion. Apologies, Saga Vinnanen. Her teammate as well there. Haven't quite spotted themselves yet on the big screen, maybe in a sec.
It's easier without the mask, isn't it? Yeah.
Final on track is the men's 400 meters, starting from lane 8. Kenyan Kimai, look at him. Kimu enjoying himself. He just did the 4x4 this morning, so tired legs for the Kenyan. Benati of Italy out there, lane 7, season's best and personal best of 46.27. Lane 6 for Mexico, Aviles Ferrero. They qualified. No, he's not done the 4x4, but he has got a national under-20 record to his name. Antonio Pesler from Botswana, personal best to qualify for this final, 45.88. His team qualified into the 4x4 final without him, but Leif Pillay of South Africa, his team couldn't do that. This will be his final race at the championships, but what a way to exit. 45.53 for the South African. His teammate in lane 3, Matt Nortje, South Africa, PB in qualifying, 46.27. Lane 2, Michael Roth from Canada. He set a 200-meter personal best earlier in the competition, but 46.51 personal best to qualify for this final. And completing the lineup from Zambia in lane 1, Simon Konga. Tight inside lane for the Zambian athlete, 46.40, his personal best. The men's 400-meter final. Pillay there, fastest on paper. Can he convert that into a gold medal?
Set.
The way, first time, lane 4 and lane 5, Pillay and Pasila, potentially the fastest, but look at the Mexican on the outside, he's already up on Banato of Italy. Kemoy of Kenya being passed by Benati of Italy and Aveles Ferrerio of Mexico. But here comes Pillay. Pillay is overtaking the Botswanan outside him. Pasila struggling a little bit now, but Pillay, live Pillay. Will this stagger unwind in his favour? He's up on the Mexican outside him, but he's got the shorter line on the inside. Live Pillay looking smooth, and he's got just half a metre ahead of the Mexican, but here comes Pasala for Botswana. Pasala, what a last 50 metres, storming through, pacing that perfectly for Botswana. Victory for Pasala. Avila Ferrero, great race as well, 55 dead. And Nortje of South Africa coming through for bronze, and it has been given as a championship record for Pasala. 45.58, what a well-judged race.
Well, with 60 metres to go, it almost looked like there was a smile crept onto Pillay's face, because he's thinking, I'm going to be world junior champion, and he ended up 4th. There was some really serious attacking done in the last 5% of that race, and none more so than this man. He came through like a locomotive.
He really did. He got overtaken by Pillay on the back straight, maybe around the 200 metre mark. But Pillay going off so fast, couldn't hold back to the finish, and it left the door open for Pasala. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, we've all got the hat like that somewhere, haven't we? He just happens to have it at the World Junior Final.
Not seen that yet, which makes me think we had the race walker. She didn't get to wear that this morning.
Sure. Are there sort of accessories for most nationalities of a hat, boomerang or flower type?
Aveles Ferrerio milking all the celebrations in his outfit. National under-20 record for Mexico. Matt Nortje, that's what they say, it's shortened to Matt. That's what I've read online. Personal best for a bronze medal. Nortje there, probably not expected to be the top South African finisher, but coming away. As we rewatch the race unfold, 5.22 there, live Pillay, really going out hard, full of adrenaline, full of motivation. Live Pillay overtook Pasala really early on, just 150 metres into the race. You can see Aveles Ferrerio of Mexico as well, up on the athlete outside of him, Benati of Italy. Live Pillay looking stronger with every 100 metres that went on, but it was all change in the final 100 metres.
There's the smile that says, I'm going to be world champion, and they say, hold my beer. No, you're not. Here we come.
Pasala looking so strong. Botswana rested him this morning. He didn't run in their 4x4 quartet. They still qualified easily, but what happens when they add in Pasala as we look for that final? Could he make it gold in the individual and the relay, the 400 metres at this World Junior Championships? Aveles Ferrerio of Mexico improves his national under-20 record that he set earlier in the competition. See it confirmed there. Pasala, championship record, 44.58. Ferrerio improving his under-20 record for Mexico with 44.95. And Nortje of South Africa, 45.32, personal best as well.
And does that add credence to the belief that thin air is good at 400 metres, that everybody ran personal best, season best, or something even better than that, all 8 right through the card?
Athletes are doing really well to keep up these high caliber performances with the multiple rounds. And we're going to get to have a look at the speed map. You can see Pillay there. A lot of red early on then for Pillay of South Africa. And now they're in green, and you can see Botswana there. He was our victor, and you can look at that spurt. When's that 80 metres to go? That really lifting and hitting his peak speed of 35.90 kilometres per hour. At that late stage in the race, really spurting past everybody else for that victory. That's got to be morally really tough for Pillay to to take. He would have been gutted to see Pasala gliding past him. But they have gone out really hard some of those lanes. You see Norche there pacing himself well. He put on a spurt coming into that home straight. But just really proving that 400 metres is about pace-making as well. You really have to get your tactics right.
Well, there's no red on Pasala's heat map until you reach the business end, and that's where he had a real adrenaline surge and excitement as well. It's a cool way to run it. It doesn't work every time, that one, though, does it?
No, but it's interesting. I wonder if that was his tactics. I said it was the Nigerians that were so good at powering in the last 50, but Pasala there doing it for Botswana instead. So Kolodecki here for Poland. Just whittling this down to the final few competitors. Kolodecki, and he stays in the competition. Pressure jump there for the Polish athlete, but he's cleared it. See Kolodecki there, third round clearance at 2:17 to join the Italian and the Israeli athlete. Back to Rose Luger.
So we're into the 5th round of the women's hammer out of 6. We're watching this live. Luger is in 2nd place, but she has the Belarus athlete, well, within 2 meters of her, so she needs to extend what is an excellent series already to maintain a grasp on silver. Very, very close to the outer perimeter. Doesn't particularly like it. So we will have the leader, Kosonen, throwing next, and then it will be one more throw each for each of the 8 finalists to decide the medals.
So you're just clipping the corner of the cage as she unleashed that hammer. So we had those adverse weather conditions on Thursday, and that got us thinking, you know, what are the bad conditions our athletes have had? So 66.07 there for Logan, no improvement. There's some pictures online of Kosonen throwing in the snow.
Oh, really?
She's done her training in the snow, so I don't think she would have been troubled by the adverse conditions. They haven't had to face that in this women's hammer. They've managed to avoid it. Bukel now, she's been pushed down into the bronze medal position. 65.20 is her best. She needs to find another 2 meters if she wants to get back up to that silver medal position. It's Rose Luger from France at the moment, 67.11. It's the 5th round, so getting down to business. Mariola Bukel, 2 throws left.
Oh, yes. Is she very happy or very sad?
I'm not
very sad.
sure.
I think she's very sad about that. You know, when they do practice in a cornfield or thick grass or a muddy field or snow, the hammer throwers tie coloured plastic bags onto the wire. Otherwise they wouldn't find them. They would bury so deep in snow that you wouldn't necessarily find it at 60, 70 metre range.
What do you do then? Do you whack your skis on and go and get your hammer?
You just yomp out there, but it means you're looking for an orange bag rather than a submerged ball. So this is the leader. What a year she's having. She's set a world junior record and she is leading the World Junior Championships by a long way. They will be getting ready to sing in Helsinki tonight. They'll be having a gargle ready for this assured performance because she is still 4 meters clear of Rose Luger. It would take something astonishing for that to change, but she's not letting it get to her. Is that Luger? Or no, that's the Belarus athlete, isn't it? Bukov has just thrown with the taped fingers there.
Taking a read of her socks, never give up. She's got one more throw to try and make a difference to this result.
So her series has been 70.53, that championship record of 71.64, backed up with 68.41, then a foul, and then whatever this is in the penultimate round for the event leader. She's not, I mean, she's the quietest, isn't she? There's never a scream or a roar, possibly because she's not especially happy with that, but it has been a good series, and the damage was done in the opening 2 rounds. That's very hard to come back at a championship record.
It is. She piled the pressure on the rest of the field. Kosonen having the dream season. European Junior champion. Looks to be closing in on that World Junior Championship now. Don't want to jinx her. Went out and competed at the Olympic Games as well. Got that experience. She's young enough to do the next edition of the World Junior Championships. She chooses to. Quick debrief. How are you doing? I'm doing alright. I'm in 4th. How about you? Well, actually, I'm in 1st.
Well done, you.
Don't want to gloat. There's still 1 round. You don't know what might happen.
I'm glad I braided your hair for you.
These athletes, they will be forging friendships, which is lovely. Maybe they're showing stories about throwing in the snow. But back to the men's high jump. It's Kapitolnik, Israel.
Cleared that by about 6 centimetres.
Heavy strapping there. Seeming to hold him back so far. He likes that one. Showboating. Israel have never won gold in this event, and that scorecard is putting in quite the case. A first-time clearance. He's a first man over 2:19. Luli there matches him on that scorecard. We talked about the shared gold medal from 2018. Can we see that again? Another Italian shared gold medal.
Yeah, well, it's all the fashion.
This could lead to a change in the rules. We have too many shared medals, force them into a jump off. But Luli of Italy looking to keep his clean scorecard as he attempts 2 meters, 19 centimeters for the first time. And he doesn't. That hands the early lead to Israel. They've never won gold in this event. That helps their bid. So Kapitolnik now the outright leader. He was first time over 2:19. No one else has managed that yet. Kolodeski there. He'll have to try again at 2:19. Lost out to Kapitolnik at the European Junior Championship. Silver there. He'll have to try again. Back to the Italian.
See most of the Italian team there to support him.
Could really be sorting out these gentlemen. It's been pretty simple till now. They've made it look quite easy, but 2:19 barrier for Italy and Poland at the moment. Just Israel clear. So back to Koloditsky. second attempt at 2:19. Took him 3 attempts to get over 2:17. That leaves him in the bronze medal position at the moment. Oh, Koloditsky, that was close, but not good enough. See, he nearly got there. A third to half of his body could get it up over that 2:19. Just took the bar down with him. See him looking at the ground there. It's a second time failure. So Koloditsky, third time attempt at 2:19. Even closer for me. Koloditsky giving it everything there. Walking away with the bronze medal at the World Junior Championships. But I'm sure he liked a tiny bit higher. So Koloditsky is finished. Bronze medal for him. Leaves just 2 athletes to battle it out.
Please welcome the medalists.
Tafadhali tuwakaribishe washindi wetu wa medali.
These are your medalists from the men's 110-metre hurdles final. That was one of our first events. Feels like one of our first events this afternoon. A great afternoon session. Finals left, right and centre.
Washindi watatambuliwa naye.
Lord Sebco is best to navigate the furniture out there and the other presenters. Sebco acknowledging the medalists from this men's 110-metre hurdles.
Kutoka Poland.
Jakub Zimanski.
Jakub Zimanski bringing his great performance in his third and final race. Frustrated through the rounds, but he delivered the goods, taking a bronze medal home for Poland.
Silver medalist
Personal
representing
best.
Jamaica.
Fedha kutoka nchini Jamaica.
Vashon Vasiana.
Sean Vasiana taking home a silver medal.
Gold medalist.
Track is fast, producing the good times. And the best time went to this man.
Sasha Zoya.
Sasha Zoya he looked good every round, got faster and faster. 12:72 this afternoon. Further improving his world junior record. Gold medal for France.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem of France.
Mabibi na mabwana, wimbo wa taifa la Ufaransa.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge your World Under-20 Championship medalists.
Mabibi na mabwana, tuwahongere washindi wa medali mashindano ya riadha, wanariadha wasiozidi umri wa miaka 20.
Back to the women's shot put. We are into the 6th and final round. Can this be any improvement for the Czech athlete? Great facial expressions, always helping us out with what the result might be.
She's determined to be on the end of championship highlights montage, isn't she?
Someone can make a gif out of that.
Yeah.
Skowska there, waiting for a mark. 14.83, so that won't change her place, and you can see how she feels about that.
Oh dear.
Throwing off her gloves, back to the drawing board. Sienkiewicz, All-Throws neutral athlete, 4th place at the moment. She would need just 4 centimetres. Steal that bronze off South Africa, and that looks good. It's over the 15-metre mark. Daria Sienkiewicz, has she moved herself up into the bronze medal position with her final throw? Silver 16.72. I don't think she'll trouble that, but she could be moving herself back up into the bronze medal position. Sienkiewicz, nervous wait for that distance.
Well, we're final throw of the hammer competition, so we know the bronze medal, that is Mariola Bukel of Belarus, and we know the silver medalist, that's the throw we've just seen for Rose Loga. It was a foul, so it's a throw of honour. One final throw for Zilja Kosonen. She's had an amazing season. She has been beaten once, but only by senior athletes, and as Hannah mentioned, she's still a junior next year, so she's won the world title to add to the world junior record and the European junior title. Let's see what she can throw when the pressure's off. Nothing to lose at all here. Well, it's long. Yeah, she likes it. I mean, it's not going to exceed the 71.64, but only she's gone anywhere above 70 metres, and she can party on as the new World Junior Champion. Congratulations to Silja Kosonen of Finland.
So, Kosonen delivering the goods under pressure, as did her teammate Saga Vinanen in the hectare. Finnish flag again.
We could have fashioned that into a Greek flag if we needed to, couldn't we? A lot of blue and white stripes there that we could have done something for the 800-metre bronze medalist for.
Desperate times.
She's still looking, you know. She's still in the flag cupboard looking for one.
As she should be. Hopefully they'll have it ready in time for the ceremony. But back to this women's shot. Dana Voric, she was pushed down into 4th place. So it's 15.34. Sienkiewicz. Can Voric respond? Oh. Could be an improvement for her. I don't know if it will be enough for 15.34, but a great response from Dana Voric. 14.99, her best distance so far. She needs to beat 15.34.
That's great balance to stay in there.
They like that, they like where it landed. But has it been measured? They've seen something. There's de Klerk there in the circle. It's come up on my system. Dana Royce, the other South African, 15.61. That was good enough to move her back up into bronze medal. 6 centimetres, but this is her teammate, Mina de Klerk. She's already thrown 17.30. This is her last round throw. The South African team cheering on these women in the shot put. Look at those two. Bronze and gold for South Africa, and even further for de Klerk. 17.40. De Klerk delivering the goods in a discus throw, and now the shot put. Smiles all round for the South African team. And we have the final event of the decathlon, and it is Nikolai Grombeck. He's in 8th position at the moment. I think we have 8 starters. Hopefully that would give us 8 for 8 starters to finishers if they can navigate these 3 3/4 laps. Grombeck, mixed day for him, but he's still here. Sion, agonising no mark in the pole vault for him. Misplon, great day for the Flemish athlete. Around that 40, so he's 4:24. Savolainen of Finland, 4:45. A tough day at altitude for these athletes. Toivonen, also of Finland. As we move into our medal contenders, Sam Pasta, he's in 3rd place at the moment. I think he's safe in that 3rd place. He's got quite a buffer. But Gente Hortikita, he led overnight by 200 points. He got the record for the highest first day score at a World Junior Championships, but he couldn't hold on to that lead because of this man, František Dobek. He's had a great second day. Hortikita hasn't done anything wrong. Dobek has just had a fantastic day, and there he is with that green number. He's got a lead of 142 points ahead of Gente Hortikita. So we enter the final event of the men's decathlon.
These will be the only endurance athletes who've not done any altitude preparation whatsoever. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, so Hortikita, he needs to run 20 seconds faster than František Dobek. And you can see, I think he's drafted in his teammate, Misplon. They do some training together. They train for pole vault and javelin together. Do they train for 1500 together? On paper, Hortikita has a personal best 13 seconds faster than Dobek. He needs 20 seconds. So he's got to run a personal best and open up a larger gap over the Czech athlete than he ever has before.
We've seen it done though. Dobek appears to be alive to the possibility, so he's just covering it rather sensibly and smoothly. But you don't often get a situation where somebody is prepared to sacrifice potentially their own points haul to help a teammate in the quest for gold. This will be interesting.
No, it's a nice move of the Belgium teammates to do this together, but you said it, Jeff, the altitude. Never mind the cumulative fatigue from a decathlon. It's a decathlon at altitude in August when these guys have done the European Junior Championships already. 71 first lap, that's just under 4:30 pace. And Dobek there, sticking to his task really well. You can see those Belgium athletes, they're moving faster, around about that 20 kilometre mark, 20 kilometres an hour. Dobek, 17, 18. How is that going to add up over the rest of this race? They're a third of the way through.
Well, the pair of them were out there quite a long time in the pole vault, weren't they? Dobek more than Hortikita, but let's see if his teammate can do a job for him here. Misplon on schedule for the sort of time that might drag him clear, but at the moment Hortikita can't stay with him.
So Misplon, he is doing his teammate a favour. They might have had a chat before, but he's operating bang on his personal best pace here, so he's not necessarily sacrificing himself, but they might have had a chat in the call room to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run just under 4:30 pace. You stick with me for as long as you can. But that was less than 800 metres. Hortikita falling off this pace, and it could be a long, hard last 750 metres for him.
And who knows how people respond to altitude, but I would say somewhere around the next bend he will have a piano strapped to his back by Captain Altitude.
So, his most basic needs of life, oxygen, and these men are going to feel like they're being given absolutely none out here. You see Dobek there, a bit of a spring in his step. He's just needs to stay, I'd say, within 100 metres of Hortikita, and that would be enough. Unless they really start slowing, it shouldn't be less than 20 seconds, but...
Well, we can see in the graphic bottom left that it's about 25 metres, so that's nowhere close at the moment, and he's only got a lap to do that. And if anything, Dobek looks better. He looks to have judged it better and has appreciated the conditions and the requirements slightly better than the Belgian Belgium. Belgium's got no choice. Neither of them have, but to give this a go, and they have, but it hasn't worked.
And the rest of the race quite neutralised. We can't see them off the back of the shot. Sam Pastor just has to beat the rest of the athletes to keep his bronze medal, so he's concentrating on that. I don't think Miss Blonde's too far behind to do anything, but he's enjoying his 1500 metres out there, taking victory in this event. But Miss Blonde out there in the lead. Dobek, you can see the graphic on your screen, staying within 30 metres of Janta Hortakita. He will retain this gold medal unless something goes majorly wrong in this last 400 metres. Let's hope not.
Well,
He's judged as well.
He's drilling a hole in the back of Hautakiti's vest with his eyes, isn't he? And he's actually gaining. This could be a Jessica Ennis type flourish here, I think, for the would-be world junior champion.
You can see the determination here from František Dubek. He was disqualified in the 400 metres at the European Junior Championships when he was in the position to get a medal. It was this man on your screen now with 1:33 for Belgium. He won that European Junior title, but he is not going to convert European Junior title into European Junior title into World Junior title. It's going to be a victory across the line for Miss Belen, but Janta Hortakita is going to have to settle for a silver medal. Great running at altitude for these
Get
men.
that piano off your back, mate.
Not wanting to run one step further than he has to. Crossing the line. 4 seconds behind Hortakita. That is enough redemption for his disqualification at those European Junior Championships. It is gold for the Czech Republic. Sprint being mustered by the men behind. František Dobek. Look at that. Yes!
Chevrolet was Czech Republic, wasn't he? Roman Chevrolet. So there's a heritage line that he's hoping to join in, and this is not a bad start because he looked good there.
He did. It was, like I say, to have clawed back. It was a 200-point deficit overnight for Dubek, and he's clawed that back and then added some. But it wasn't because of failures. It wasn't because Janta Hortakita put a foot wrong. It was just a tremendous second day from František Dubek.
Well, by tradition, all of the multi-eventers go on a joint lap of honour. They do various bows with their flags and things like that. The one thing you can be certain of here is that it will be done at walking pace.
Maybe they'll skip it. Maybe they'll say, altitude, another lap, no thanks. Brilliant to see 8 finishers as well. We had 8 starters. We've had 8 finishers.
Fair play. Winner, winner, double chicken dinner.
He can have 10 chicken dinners as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, his season ends here, and it ends on a very high note, I'm sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge your World Under-20 Championship medalists.
Mabibi na mabwana, tuwahongere washindi wa medali mashindano ya riadha chipukizi wasiozidi miaka 20.
There are your medalists in the men's 1500 metres.
That was, I'm sure that decision of stepping on the infield was appealed. It feels quite harsh, doesn't it? Because there's something in there about advantage gained, and he didn't gain any advantage. He nearly fell over in doing it, didn't he? So
I agree with you, Jeff, but there was no one around him.
No.
I feel sorry for athletes when they get caught up in the hustle and bustle of races, but yeah, he was fatigued and he was working hard, but he wasn't pushed or shoved. It was sort of again unforced error. I've used that a couple of times today, but it's harsh and it's cruel because he didn't gain an advantage. He was good enough for that bronze medal, but not to be. 2 for Ethiopia instead.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the women's 200 meters
Penultimate action of this afternoon's sessions. Brianna Williams there on your screen, the defending champion, not here. She went to the Olympics instead. Plechnova of the Czech Republic in lane 1. Pretty much everybody set a personal best yesterday, including the Czech Republic athlete. Marta Zimna, she will be in lane 2 for Poland. All smiles and waves. In 3 will be Brianna Leiston. She might hope to defend this title. Brianna Williams got it in 2018, but she's going to have a tough task. But we thought that with Tina Clayton, her teammate, powered home to beat this woman in the 100 metres final earlier in the championships. Masalingi silver in the 100 metres. Favourable lane 4 here for the 6th placed athlete from the Olympic Games, but lane 5 will be Favour Ofili. 22:30 to qualify for this final. The only athlete that didn't PB yesterday, I think. Maybe Christine Mboma didn't either. Silver medalist in the Olympic Games. Just 18. She ran 21:81 yesterday. There were some wind readings that meant that might not be a championship record. Maybe she can go again. Carrillo racing off the screen, 6th at the European Junior Championships. Spanish athlete, 23:32 yesterday. But Alaya Francis, 2nd athlete from Jamaica, will complete the sign-up. She'll be out in lane 8. Make her way round to her starting blocks. They will already have set these up and then they go back out to do that entrance for us. But Namibia have never had any medals in this event. They could pick up 2 here. Been waiting to see Masalingi and Mboma race each other. They've looked so good through these rounds. But Masalingi looked tremendous in the rounds of the 100 metres, but couldn't convert that into the gold medal. That went to Tina Clayton of Jamaica. So Zimna there, Poland. Final bit of focus and concentration. Just the men's 200 metre final on the track to come after this. One more day of action tomorrow. Let's see some of these ladies in the 4x100 metres. There is your full lineup. Francis of Jamaica in 8. Carrillo of Spain in 7. Mboma, Olympic silver medalist in 6. Fili of Nigeria in 5. Masalingi, our 2nd athlete from Namibia, in 4. Brianna Leiston in 3. Marta Zimna for Poland in 2. Splechnova, Czech Republic in 1. Here's your full lineup for this women's 200 metre final. Mboma there in 6. Favourite on paper with that silver medal from the Olympic Games. Will her teammate from lane 4, Masalingi, challenge Masalingi should be 2
On
lanes
your
to the
marks.
inside.
Set.
It's a fast start for Masalingi there. Masalingi already up on Ofili. And Boma's got some work to do into this home straight. It is Masalingi from Ofili as they come into 100 to go. Masalingi came under pressure in the 100 metres and came away with a silver medal. Ofili is giving them a run for their money, but it is Mboma pulling away. And Mboma for the victory. And Mboma for Masalingi from Ofili. 21.86. That's what the clock stopped at. 1.1. That looks good for a world record. And Mboma, fantastic running there. Stopped the clock at 21.81 yesterday, but we think that was a plus 2.2. Minus 2.2. Very impressive into a plus 2.2. And I feel there. Fantastic run for the bronze medal.
It is plus. It is an over the limit tailwind that she had, plus 2.2. Yeah.
These wind readings, too much for me, but it is a world under-20 record for Christine Mboma. Smiles of relief, I'm sure. Silver medal at the Olympics, gold medal at the under-20 championships. Masalingi there. Like I said, she came under pressure in that 100-metre final. For me, she tightened up. She lost her form a bit there, and Tina Clayton took the gold medal that day, but Beatrice Masalingi, silver medal there. What a run from Favour Philly, pushing those two Namibian athletes all the way to the line. A bronze medal and a national junior record for the Nigerian athlete.
Well, those two medals, that 20 seconds, a good one for Namibia. They were in 22nd place in the overall medal standings with just a solitary silver, and that will boost them possibly inside the top 12 at the end of day 4 on the medal table.
But Mbona not getting the fastest of starts. It was Ophelia Masalingi inside her. As we came into the last 100 metres, you see Mboma there. She made a kick into the straight. Ophelia went with her, but it was Mboma who'd saved a little bit for the last 40 metres, powering away for, in the end, a dominant victory. But all three of those athletes pushing each other all the way to the end of this race. You can see Mboma gasping, willing that line to come, and it did. She was the victor. Mboma, her teammate, in second place. Both of them just 18. All smiles. Those are your 1, 2, 3 in the women's 200-metre final.
And that's confirmation of the result. Great contest. We'll see a few of those athletes in action again in the relays coming up over the final day of action at the World Juniors in Nairobi. One event still to... Oh, and now we're looking at possible lane infringement for Liston.
I thought it was going to be one of the medals there, but it is Brianna Leiston there. This is the footage from Hawkeye. She stepped on the inside of her lane. We've seen that a lot this week. But Mboma there, having a shot with the clock.
I wasn't sure, is the rule 3 consecutive steps on the line? And did she do 3 there?
I asked this earlier, and apparently I'm showing my age. It is now 3 steps on the line. No, it's now even 1. It used to be 3. Okay. But let's have a quick look at the speed map before we lose the graphic.
It'll go.
Mboma there, carrying that speed. There was a bit of a kick at 150. You could see Ofili and Mboma picking up their speed there. Masalingi had done a lot of that work at the start of the race, hitting her peak speed at 50 metres, 35.6. 35.7 the peak speed for Ofili, but it didn't equate to a faster overall time. And 35.9 the fastest time out of any of the athletes there, and Mboma taking first place. Really you see that. Afili there as well. She did put in a spurt around about that 150-metre mark, but just third for the Nigerian athlete.
Listed and DQ'd at the moment, but that will be subject to appeal. If you half close your eyes and look at that heat map, you'll see that it's the third segment that needs to be as orange as possible if you want a medal. That's broadly the pattern that you can see if you just squint a little bit at it, but that's where the heat really comes in.
What these heat maps are really showing me is that lift as you come into the last 100 metres.
Yeah.
You say that you want to come and you want to kick off that bend and drive into that last 100 metres, but I kind of thought that was just something you say or you feel, but to see it reflected in the heat maps, it really is a thing, and that will propel you into that last 100 metres, and it could make the difference between a victory or a medal.
One event still to come.
Great that the rain stayed away. We had so much rain on Thursday, and then we were worried looking at the weather. We might have more disruptions, but it's been plain sailing since then for the organisers and the athletes.
On the whole, the conditions have been very athlete friendly, haven't they? I know altitude and the combination of daytime heat has been tricky for the race walkers and one or two others, but a great championship venue.
I hope the athletes enjoyed their trip. It's been a long journey for a lot of these athletes.
Yeah.
So we have got that amended result of the women's 200, including the disqualification of Brianna Leiston. She crossed the line in 4th place, so that will now be for Lucia Carrillo to occupy. 3:51, but our medalists unaffected by that replay and the attention of the officials. They remain in 1st, 2nd and 3rd. 2 medals for Namibia. Great event. Yet another medal for Nigeria. Picking them up all over the place. Greek athletes. I'm enjoying, I was having a quote from Delagiani. Very tough race, but she dug in and won the medal. Delighted with that for Greece.
Our last event of day 4 of these World Under-20 Championships is the men's 200 metres. Let's meet the athletes, starting with the athlete in lane 1 from Cuba, the World Junior Bronze medalist, Shania Rengifo Montoya. For Israel, Blessing Afrifa. In lane 3, it's Adodi Onwuzurike from Nigeria. He's run 20.47 this year. Tarsis Orogot goes for Uganda in lane number 4. Set 100 personal best of 10.35 this year. Is this the man to get the first medal for Denmark at these championships? Tazana Kamanga Durbach, 24.8, the senior record holder for Denmark. Letsile Tobogo is the new World Junior Champion at 100 metres. Going for the double, can he pull that one off? Lane 7, Sinisifo Dambile for South Africa has run 20.43. And on the outside lane, in lane 8, Jakub Pietrusa. So you may have heard a few 20 points there. There's 600ths of a second separating all of these athletes going into this final. Stand by the photo finish team. This could be a close one. At stake is the possibility of a double, which is a rare thing at world level for the men's 100 metre champion, Letsile Tobogo. A possible first medal for Denmark, who've got as far as day 4 without one. His mother's Zambian, his father's Danish. Both of them were international swimmers. Tazana Kamanga Deerbach. Lives in Kenya, former rugby player. Pietrusa, Dambili, Tobago, the 100 champion, Kamanga Deerbach for Denmark, Orogot for Uganda, Onwuzurike for Nigeria, Afrifa for Israel, and Montoya for Cuba.
On your marks.
8 different nationalities. Stand by for our last event of the day. It's the men's 200 meters final.
Set.
When they're this close, the start is crucial. The transition into the straight will be crucial. It's the Nigerian who's gone out strongly. Onwuzurike leading them into the straight. What's the 100-meter champion got? He's got to have a lot to come back off this one. It is the Nigerian Onwuzurike who's going to get away and takes the title. It's a silver this time for Tobago. 20.22, and it was all about the start. He got out quickly, he attacked the first bend, rips off his number. We've got your number, mate. Well done, Onwuzurike of Nigeria, the world junior 200-meter champion.
Great race off of Onwuzurike there. Based out in the States. Oh, and look at that. Dambile celebrating a bronze medal. There's a national under-20 record there for Nigeria for Onwuzurike.
I think when the full captions come out, there'll be a number of national junior records. We've seen some super sprinting in the thin air of Nairobi here all day today, and that one, I think, no exception. Nigeria having a great championship. Well, he perhaps will be a little bit disappointed. Gold in the 100, silver in the 200. I can't see what else he could have done there in the face of a start like that. 20.38 is tremendous sprinting, really.
Fortunate we won't see Tobago in the 4x1 final. I don't think they qualified for the final. Botswana.
No, they had that stumble, didn't they, at the third changeover where the outgoing athlete hit the deck. They did finish, but it was non-qualification. So a national under-20 record there for him.
Onwuzurike, Nigeria resting him for this morning's 4x100. He can go and join that squad tomorrow. Dambile there, season's best, 20.48. He ran a really good race. I think it was his last 50. It was really strong, giving him that bronze medal. Yeah,
we may get a heat map of this as well. Look at the start again. And it was a really good one for the new world champion. In the semi-finals, the wind was only narrowly over the limits when he ran that super time of 20.13. And it is bronze for South Africa. So I think he'll be very pleased. I think the winner will be very pleased. I'm not sure that Let's See Lay Tobago will be quite as pleased with the silver, but I don't know. That's nothing wrong with that as a run, really. Just raised expectations after becoming the new world champion over 100.
So Onwuzurike, he just bought his A game. Look at him celebrating. I think he's got the tag of the fastest US high school athlete. Onwuzurike, and that was this year. He's based out there. That would be quite some accolade from a nation that is so well known for their sprinting. Wow, so many events.
So not that quick when we go back down the field. Not much of a spread apart from Pietrusa, who must have just jogged in at the end there. So just 3/10 barely separating the first 5. but Denmark still awaiting a first medal. So we are going to see the heat map, and we're looking for red probably in that third quarter as being the decisive factor that separates the podium positions from those that are outside the top three. Half close your eyes, look for the orange in the third quadrant going left to right. Green, green, green. Well, he applied some pressure there, but most of the damage was done. Not a lot of heat in the second half at all, was there, compared to the women's? So that charge by Kamanga Deerbach, yeah, a very even pace running, a much more evenly distributed effort there. There's not a lot of red apart from the Dane in the third quarter.
Yeah, not the spikes in pace change that we saw on the women's side. Apart from Kamanga Deerbach there, he put in a spurt, but that wasn't fruitful for him. I still love the idea of carrying that speed around the bend and having to convert it into the straight. It's something sprinters talk about a lot. That's why a good 200-meter runner doesn't always make you a good 100, or yeah, you've got to learn your different events. But a word on Jakub Petrusa of Poland. He was part of that squad that set a European 4x100 metre record this morning. He only managed 25 seconds there. I hope he's not injured himself. It would be great to see him back in that 4x100 final tomorrow. Hopefully it's just a bit of fatigue and nothing more. But Onwuzurike will be a fantastic addition to that Nigerian men's 4x1 quartet tomorrow. All the relay action. We had the mixed 4x4 the first day of the competition, but we've got the single sex 4x1 and 4x4s to go tomorrow. That was the conclusion of the men's high jump competition. So Kolodziejski of Poland, 2 meters 17 centimeters, the same height as Louis of Italy, but on count back. Personal best got the Italian the silver medal. Kapitulnik there of Israel, taking Israel's first ever gold medal in the men's high jump. So congratulations to him and his team. He adds that to the European gold he got earlier in the season. Might try and do that overnight. How many European champions became world champions?
Yeah.
A few more will contend that tomorrow.
So this was as convincing a victory as we've had in the whole championship for Silja Kosonen, setting a championship record within 2 meters of her world junior record to take gold. Loga performed up to seeming really to take silver ahead of Bucharest of Belarus in bronze. And for Cyprus, Valentina Sava found a national junior record, only good enough for 5th.
There was a result of the women's shot put. Daria Shinkenvich, she made a bid for that bronze medal. She got into that position with her last round throw, but Dana Reutz responded really well with 15.61 to get the bronze. Pina Ekol, she was a favourite on paper coming into this, but just a silver medal for the Turkish athlete, 16.72. And Mina de Klerk having the week of her life. An area record, an Africa record for a silver medal in the discus, and a gold medal in the women's shot put with 17.40. What a competition for the South Africans there, adding 2 medals to their tally. One of the nations really dominating this championships. Medal ceremony down there will be the women's 800 metres. I shared a quote with you from the Greek athlete Delagiani. She said, a very tough race, especially after 500 metres. That's because she was so brave, making a bid to string out the field. You can see her Greek team there. I think that's Orestes Doussakis, or is it One of those is, I recognise one of them from the heavy throws. Someone getting a quick selfie. Maybe they're just taking it, maybe they're taking a panorama, maybe I'm doing her a disservice. But Delagiani said she narrowly missed a medal at the European Under-20 Championships and she was really disappointed. She said she's trained even harder.
Watch this split screen. Sasha Zoya in real time with his French supporters. They'll be on tenterhooks in case he clips a hurdle, but as he gets to 8, no danger of that. Big win, podium, France in the grandstand. You can see what it means. God, he's carrying the hopes of a nation, isn't he, for 3 years? I think he's got the temperament for it. I do feel like he's got that flamboyance and easygoing manner, but we shall see.
Looks like he might enjoy the pressure.
Yeah.
You should check out his Instagram, it's very colourful. See these athletes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Nice to see them hanging around for the medal ceremony. It's tempting to nip off back to the hotel, but perhaps conscious that these athletes deserve some support with the absence of the crowd. There's medals laid out ready for the women from the 800 metre.
Please welcome the medalists.
Went off at 4:45 earlier. See the athletes picking up their own medals and their own flowers. Gianni making up for disappointment at the European Junior Championships with a bronze medal here. Emilia, she said this is also made up for disappointment with her bronze medal from the European Juniors. She's tried to stay as calm as possible in the hard race. She wants to dedicate this race to her family and
The
her
medalists
coaches.
will be
Did
acknowledged.
any of them say, where was my flag?
Dolgiani, it's fine, it will be here. Another Athletics Council member
Bronze
overseeing
medalist
proceedings.
representing Greece,
Shaba kutoka Ugiriki.
Eli Deligiani.
Bronze medal, Ellie Deligiani, Stanford student, 2 minutes, 4 seconds, 66. You can see the smile even though she's got a mask over her face.
Silver medalist representing Switzerland,
Silver medal,
Fedha kutoka Uswizi.
Valentina Rosamilia.
Valentina Rosamilia for Switzerland, making the podium a habit. European Junior bronze, World Junior silver.
Gold medalist and World Under-20 champion representing Ethiopia,
Dhahabu kutoka Uhabeshi.
Ayal Dagnachu.
Dagnachu of Ethiopia. Ayel Dagnachu, watch out for that name. She ran a tremendous race, judged her efforts superbly in the last 200 to take a gold medal for Ethiopia.
Ladies and gentlemen, the anthem of Ethiopia.
Mabibi na mabwana, wimbo wa taifa la Uhabeshi.
Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge your World Under-20 Championship medalists.
Mabibi na mabwana, tuwahongere washindi wa medali mashindano ya riadha wasiozidi miaka 20.
Is your women's podium 800 metre final.
We would like to thank the partners who, through their support and expertise, have helped to stage the World Athletics Under-20 Championships Nairobi 21.
Tuchukue nafasi hii kuwashukuru wale wote wanaofaulisha mashindano haya ya riadha, wanariadha wasiozidi miaka 20 jijini Nairobi mwaka huu 2021.
World Athletics partners.
Washirika wa riadha.
ASICS, QNB, Seiko,
So the medal table by tomorrow evening could look radically different. Relay, we're done with heats and semi-finals. They're so yesterday, aren't they now? We're wall-to-wall finals for the 5th and final day. And without prejudging things, I think Nairobi have done a fantastic job and they've been rewarded by some great home performances. You can see there, whether you count gold medals or overall medals, Kenya still leading. Finland, a surprise package, you'd have to say, with 3 golds and a silver. But the medals are currently spread between more than 20 nations already, and that count could go above 30, celebrating the global nature of athletics.
Can you name the sole bronze medal for Latvia? Second, I think, in the women's triple jump, long jump.
Good knowledge. So this is what we're looking forward to tomorrow. There's no morning session, it's just an afternoon session, and there it is, finals all the way. Men's triple, we're looking forward to seeing the culmination of those middle distance events. The women's high jump should be a classic. Final steeplechase as well, and the final relay will be that women's 4x100 metres. Thank you very much for your company today. We've got a second page of the timetable. Let's just give you the very last events. There we are. Women's 5,000 metres will be the final individual event of Nairobi 2021, and then we'll have the 2 4x4 gold medal finals. So we've enjoyed day 4. Thank you very much for joining us. From me, Jeff Whiteman, and Hannah England, it is goodbye, and we hope to see you tomorrow.